Hey y'all! What's up, y'all? It's your girl Neo. Today is Sunday. Today is the day that we use to express ourselves and connect to our highest divine self, our highest divine timeline, and our highest frequency. Okay? Today, I'm just going to be chatting about some things that I've been noticing within not only the collective, but within the media. And we all know that media is used as a tool to enter the mind or to enter and control the mind because it's known as entertainment. Alright, before I start this live off, I want y'all to drop sons in the comments as we are going today throughout the live. I need sun emojis, spam the comments with sun emojis. Okay? Now that you've done that, I need you to reshare the live and I need you to like the live. That's all I need you to do. And then stay and chill. That's your pass. That's your little ticket for you to be able to stay in the class. Alright? Get your pen, get your paper, get your energy right. And come on. Come on. Alright. So, we're going to start out today with some affirmations. Alright? The first thing that I want to say is you are bright. You are beautiful. You are bold. And you have the courage that is needed to be able to change the things that you can change. You have the serenity to be able to accept the things that you cannot. And you have the wisdom to know the difference. That's our first affirmation. Okay? Next affirmation, I affirm to you that you are bold, you are beautiful, you are bright, and you have everything that you need within inside of yourself so that you can express that externally. You have the divine light inside of yourself. You don't need no savior. You don't need no floating man in the sky. You don't need anything outside of yourself to do the things that you need to do because you understand that everything is a part of you. I say, boom. Okay. Next, I want to tell you that your connection with your spirit team, your ancestors, and your highest divine self is going to be crucial in this next season. Alright? So I'm affirming to you that your connection is of your highest loving, divine, benevolent good. Your connection is strong and unmoved. You are grounded with the things that you receive spiritually so that you can execute them into the physical. Okay? Next affirmation for Sunday is going to be dealing with and surrounding Leo and dealing with and surrounding the Saturn retrograde. And now that we've come out of this Mercury retrograde, we're in a Mercury retrograde shadow period. This specific affirmation is going to be centered around your creativity. So you can create the things that you need to create with proper discipline, with proper structure, with proper routine, and with proper boundaries. All of those are still aspects of you. So you must impose those throughout your life to be able to get what it is that you need to get. Okay? As long as you establish your boundaries, stick to your boundaries. If it's something that goes against your boundaries, it goes against you. You need to know that. If it's something that is tempting and gets you out of your discipline, that is still affecting you once again. So the affirmation is going to be, I affirm to myself that I am grounded within myself. I am strong and I have confidence in myself to be able to execute the things that I need to do and to be able to gain the things that I need to gain, no matter who's watching, no matter who or what obstacle comes my way, no matter how the feelings that I feel, no matter how they're feeling right now, the temporary energies that's coming to me, no matter how much I'm feeling, I'm still going to control and maintain my reactions. So I affirm that you are strong within your emotions. You have emotional intelligence. I affirm to you that you know the decisions that you need to make. Nobody has to tell you that. You don't have to go to, a church to find that out. You can find that out yourself. You can hold yourself accountable. You can look at the things that you are doing in your life and be able to see that. Nobody has to do that for you. You don't have to go to no government and for them to tell you how to live your life and do what you need to do. You're supposed to do that for yourself. So I affirm to you that on today, From this day forward, from this moment forward, from the time that you see this video forward, you are disciplined within yourself. Be firm, be strong, chin up, chest out, nigga. Chin up, chest out. It's okay to feel as if sometimes, you know, the world feel like it's just crashing, it's crumbling, it is coming down. It's okay. It's okay. With the energy of Pluto being transformation, the energy of Uranus being sudden change, the energy of Saturn being discipline and boundaries, and the energy of that Sun in Leo right now, baby, I'm more surprised the revolution ain't been televised. But it ain't gonna be televised because it starts internally. It starts within here. It starts within yourself. Okay? So moving forward on today, moving forward with this energy that's here, right now. If you see something that you know is not right, handle that. If you hear something that you know is not of divinity, handle that. I can't tell you how to handle that because you're in control of your reactions. I don't know the situation. I don't know your perception. But what I can tell you is move with your best foot forward. Because these next couple of weeks, and more specifically these next couple of days, and we have a full moon coming up. I gotta check and see what sign it's in. Matter of fact, let me do that right now. Let me check and see what sign the full moon is going to be in. Alright. Oh, this the buck moon. And it's in Aquarius. So we got a full moon in Aquarius. We got a lot of Aquarian energy. So over the next couple of days, I'm really expecting to see a lot of people standing up and stepping out when it comes to their humanitarian efforts. I'm really going to be seeing a lot of y'all get buck and get bold against them systems that have been put there to govern you when you have the energy to govern yourself. So we got the full moon in Aquarius. We got the Sun in Leo. We have Saturn in Aquarius. We have Pluto in Aquarius. You see with all this Aquarius energy, this not just, mind you, because we talk about this all the time, mind you. Aquarius, you're not just an Aquarius. You may be an Aquarius Sun, and because your ego is your external perception is how you express yourself, is how people see you, is how you protect yourself. Your ego is going to most identify with the sign of the Sun. So that's the sign, that's where the Sun was when you was born. So when people be walking around here saying I'm an Aquarius, you have Aquarius in your chart. Everybody does. But what you're saying is your Sun is in Aquarius. So you're expressing yourself, and your ego is fueled with the energy of Aquarius. That means you may have and that also deals with the energy of 5th house. 5th house is ruled by Leo, and it's ruled by the Sun. Aquarius is the 11th zodiac sign, and it rules the 11th house. That house deals with social aspects. So we're going to see a lot of transformation in the social settings. We're going to see a lot of people getting on here telling exactly who they are. And I know I've seen specifically within the past 2 days, like we getting closer to that full moon. It come on Wednesday. So I think the shadow period will start like Monday. The closer we get to that, the more that I'm seeing things be revealed. People who've been using the collective and the community is finna meet their maker. They are about to have the accountability, and if you believe in karma, they're about to have what they put out given back to them. The ones who've been doing the work, the ones who've been actually pouring into themselves and healing that anger. Okay, because that's what that Pluto, Saturn energy. You get buck, you get bold, you get angry. This is a buck moon. Quite literally, it's called the buck moon. You get buck, you get bold, you get angry, and you use your energy in the wrong spaces, you're gonna burn out. Don't mash out. Don't mash that gas out and burn out, boo. I know it's real tempting right now. Don't do it, though. Don't do it. Hold it. And the reason that I say hold it is not so you just, I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to hold on to all my potential energy. No, the reason that I'm telling you that is because looking at the astrology, you have to be disciplined with what you do. You have to have boundaries around what you do. And you have to be grounded in what you do. That's always in any time. But like I said, especially right now, because there are going to be a lot of distractions. And they be like, oh, distraction. Y'all say that all the time. When I say distractions, I quite literally mean things that you wouldn't even know are distractions. Like, things that everybody is going to be talking about. And I just posted a video last night telling y'all, if you watch sports, if you're in, the sports entertainment, the media, aka them telling a vision of what's going on with them certain teams and the teams that those cities correlate to, and the energy that's going on with that. We seen that with the World Cup, with Argentina losing to Spain. Follow me, because I'm about to drop some gems on y'all, because they shadow banned my video that I posted last night. And like I said, I'm not going to get angry. I'm not going to get upset. But that's not going to stop me either. I'm going to keep going. And I'm going to keep doing the things that I need to do. And I'm going to keep spreading the messages that I need to spread. It just won't be in the way that could get me caught up. Okay. LBJ. LeBron James. Alright, he got traded to the Philadelphia 76ers. Philadelphia. Well, we heard Philadelphia. They spread it to you all throughout history. Okay, cool. He's leaving Los Angeles. Los Angeles is in California. Khalifa, used to be an island. It used to be its own country. So, as nature reclaimed her land, as Mother Gaia, and specifically Big Mama, and when I say Big Mama, I'm referring to the land of America. I don't really want to call it America, because that was named after quite literally the very same people who came over here and named it that, so they could steal the energy that came with it. Anyway, I digress. That's not what we're talking about right now. But, boom. Argentina lost to Spain. Argentina is where a lot of the people who did not win the battle in Europe fled to. South America. South America also holds a lot of potent energy. Why? Because Spain, the one who won, is the European power. We talked about Europe, and we talked about how all that started happening. Boom, boom, bam. Cool. Spain is the European power, along with England or Britain, that literally is clinging on to the identity that they formed after they left Europe. So them telling you Spain won over Argentina is them telling you, again, we're in the upside down. So whatever they tell you look left, look right. Hear me when I say that. If they tell you look left, look right. Cool. Alright. Spain won over Argentina. Argentina had been holding they shit down. I don't watch soccer. I know more about basketball and football. However, I do know Argentina has been winning the past couple years. Okay, Argentina. Hear me. When I say Argentina, this is what I want you to think about. I want you to think about the hollow that had a cost. And then I want you to think about the mustache man. That's what we're gonna call it, okay? Okay, because TikTok, like I said, they like to play. Boom, we ain't even finna play with them. We ain't finna play with them. Argentina, that's them. Okay? Argentina is at the bottom of South America. The bottom of South America gives you access to Antarctica. Okay. The old world, like I said, Europe, Eurasia, coming to the new world, coming to Big Mama, doing what they doing over here. They trying to go do the same thing to Antarctica. But who is in Antarctica is not finna go for that. The same way the people who was with Big Mama's babies, not finna go for that. So now, like I said, they tell you what's going on through the media. So you like, okay, you just talked about the World Cup. You just talked about how Spain, which again represents the corporation, it represents the crown, it represents the conquistadors. And then Argentina representing the ones who didn't get to necessarily write their story because they didn't necessarily have the platform. They had to rebuild. After World War I, World War II, they had to rebuild. They had to rename. And again, I've said several times, after 1976, all of those old tactics no longer worked. So as of year 2000 AD, according to their calendar, it no longer worked. It was done. It was over. The 400 years, done, over, gone, boom. We going on 500 now at this point. So it's over 100 years of reclassification, rewriting, and mental warfare. As of 2000, the mental warfare, the spell no longer worked. The curse no longer worked. It was done. It was over with. Okay? So now we have to shape and we have to shift and we have to change it to new things, new forms. Because energy can neither be created nor destroyed. Rome never fell. It simply just changed its name. Follow me. Cool. Now, we're going to bring that to something more recent. LeBron James, his trade into the Sixers. And then we're going to also take a look at what happened with Kobe and his situation. And I know you already see the parallels. I don't have to go too much into detail about the numbers, about the numerology, about the gematria of it. But you could go do that yourself. I'm giving you the gems. Take the gems, leave the dirt. Go do the rest of the history. Boom. Be quiet. You want me to be quiet? How about I make you be quiet? Hold on. Here we go. First of all, I'm going to mute you. And then I'm going to block you. There you go. Now you be quiet. Okay. Have a great day. Matter of fact, have the day you deserve. Cool. Because I'm not here to play today. Los Angeles Lakers. California. When I told you what was going on with California, and I told you that California, among Texas, among Florida, and among a couple of other states, because of the grandfathers who drew those lines and created those states, because they actually did some of their work and some of the rest of the states didn't, it is now a divide between not only just the countries of the New World, or the countries of Big Mama, or the countries of America that are really just the sons of the European powers that be, or what everybody like to call them, the 1%ers, they 1% in America, but in Europe, you know, and it's a specific word that I'm looking for. Anyway, those entities over there branched off and created again, because they knew that shit was ending over there. So they branched off. Elites. Thank you. Infinite Inspires. Thank you, boo. Elites. Elite. And who else said it? E. Thank y'all. That's the word I'm looking for. Okay, boom. The so-called elites, because they not elite in my reality, and they shouldn't be elite in yours. But if you allow them to be, then they elite in your reality. They ain't elite in mine. Anyway, Europe elites, boom, came over here, had their sons. They sons did what they needed to do for the grandsons. The grandsons are the ones that want to go to Antarctica. The parasites that mutated when it got over here in what we call present day America, Big Mama, mutated again. And then now they trying to go to Antarctica. Now, I'm trying to tell you how okay, you trying to say, what does this got to do with LeBron James and the 76ers and the Lakers? A lot. Because it tells you a story without telling you exactly what's happening. It entertains the mind. Ment, mind. Tame, control. Enter, go in. Go in and control the mind without putting it right there in your face and telling you what it is. Because again, some people will say, in order to avoid certain karmic debts or certain things that they've done, they have to tell you. They have to put that in your face. So like I said, with the Lakers, with California losing their star player but retaining his son, do we not see the message in that? That's kind of clear right there. Okay. Losing their star player to the U.S. corporation, California, the land of Khalifa. Queen Khalifa, yeah, that one right there. The land that used to be an island, yeah, that one. The one that I told you that if all of them faults hypothetically was to go off, that bitch breaking off anyway, on down to Mexico. And let's talk about Mexico. Since we on the topic of the Lakers and the 76ers, let's talk about Mexico. Okay. What was once Spain versus Britain, and you know, we're gonna throw Russia, France, Italy, the Netherlands, the Dutch, all that. We're gonna throw all them in there too. But mainly Spain, Britain versus the indigenous people. The people who were already here when they got here. Okay, cool. Them 3 corporations, them 2 corporations, and then the people merged on the land that we know of as America. Stop looking at the land as the name. Because they will tell you South America, Central America, or Mexico, United States, North America, Canada, Alaska, Greenland. Yup. I said what I said. Cool. Alright. They'll tell you that them are separate things. They're all together. They're all one. The same thing with our Earth. The same thing with our universe. It's all connected. Nothing is separate. Cool. They'll tell you this Africa, this America, this all the same thing. Same thing. So when we get to talking about, oh, that ain't, he may look like me, but he ain't me. It's a lot of people that look like you that ain't you, and it's a lot of people that ain't you and don't look like, that is you and don't look like you. Things change, things shift, things shape into many forms. Naming, labeling, the biggest sin to atom, the biggest sin to creation, the biggest sin to man or the manifestation of light is naming and labeling things, because you get them away from the original source that is divinity. That is what we refer to as God, or the divine mother, or the divine womb man, or the divine black etheric plasmic energy. Like, it's so many names for it. But boom. Lakers, LeBron, star player. The star is leaving California and going to Philadelphia. Why is the star leaving California and going to Philadelphia? Because Philadelphia, again, represents the crown. It represents the 13 original families. Oop, I meant to say 13 original colonies. Who is the 13 original colonies or the 13 original families? The people that came from Europe. The grandfathers that got their families, created their businesses or their corporate identities, came to these lands, established those identities and corporate entities through force a lot of times, but a lot of times through paperwork. They could get over on the paperwork because they made the paperwork. If I make the system, I make the rules. I control the traffic, right? But they couldn't get it with the force. And the reason that I say that is because it was a 1 to 100. You know that little thing when they was talking about a while back, one man versus, one gorilla versus 100 men? Bitch, you was the gorilla. You was the gorilla. The guerrilla warfare. It triggered that mind, didn't it? Exactly. I know it flow good, don't it? It flow good. It flow real good. Because it makes sense. And if it flow good like that, then it must be some truth to it. That's why they be taking my videos down left and right. Because I be lining them bitches up. Lining them up. Point it out. But anyway. Okay, cool. Once you look at that, you start to see that paperwork can't do nothing. If a motherfucker walking up to you with a gun right now, if somebody walking up to you trying to harm you or trying to cause harm to you, are you going to throw your birth certificate and social security number at them? Exactly. So keep believing that the people that was once on the land called America's Big Mama, keep thinking Big Mama kids just lay it down and let them come in and take Big Mama White House. No, that ain't how it worked, boo. And keep thinking that this happened a long time ago and Big Mama and her baby's been trapped ever since. Like I said, they can get you mentally through paperwork, but they can't get to that soul. They can't get to that black dye. They can't get to what Big Mama gave you. They can't get to your mitochondria. They can't get to the essence. They can't get to your womb. That's what they don't like. That's what I'm here to tell you. Because the more you know that, the more you literally can see. Wait a minute. Hold on. Cause they been telling me to fight my cousin and my brother this whole time, when in reality, as of year 2000, everything was on equal playing field, boo. That paperwork didn't mean shit. Okay? So like I said, the whole thing about one gorilla to 100 men, that's how they were outnumbered. It took one of you to deal with 100 of them. But you want me to think for 200 to 400 years on paper, through your spiritual practices, aka religion, through your government, your ability to govern your mind, through your ability to rest and relax, aka entertainment, media, so all that, okay, cool. All of that is what got us. It wasn't just no shackles and chains, okay? The people who were in the shackles and chains, and this is why I'm going to tie this back into that Lakers and that 76ers. Hold on, let me get it real quick. The people who came over here in the shackles and the chains already came with the people who were already in the shackles and chains. The shackles and chains, shackled and chained because they were shackled and chained. Let that sit with you. So now you like, okay, Neo, wow. So what you said about Argentina losing to Spain makes sense now. Because then we say that was the holo that didn't cost. And the mustache man, didn't we just say? Okay. Okay. Hurt people. Exactly. An indentured servant of Slavic origin is gonna call you a slave. Because they're the actual slaves. A being who does not possess something will help you lose everything. And that is pretty much where I'm going to leave that at. Alright, we're going to keep going. So Spain won over Argentina. Who was the star player over Spain? If I'm not mistaken, the star player for Spain, what he look like? Because again, we just looking at symbolism. I don't know these people from a can of paint. I don't know their personalities. I don't really care to talk about that. I'm looking at the symbolism that the media and the entertainment industry is putting out. The star player for Spain, compare him. Don't worry. I'm over here, sitting over here with the damn poster on the wall and ain't looking at it to cheat on my test. It's alright. Spain versus Argentina. Let me look and see. Okay. Let me show y'all. Let's go. Let's go, TikTok! Y'all wanna take videos down? Let's go! I never cared. Okay. Boom. So now we looking at the visual representation of what I just said. Spain versus Argentina. Who is Argentina? Argentina was the ones that got shunned, the ones that fled to Argentina, the energies that fled, the entities from Europa that fled to Argentina as a result of them trying to tell you the fucking truth. That's how they getting first dibs or a first round pick on Antarctica. Because they used a lot of their energy to be, I'm not going to say buddy with the original people of the Americas or the New World, but they used a lot of their energy to kind of work with what was going on and tell people what the fuck was going on the back end where they was getting messed over. Antarctica, Big Mama, Europa, where Petey came from. If you've been watching my lives, you know what I'm talking about. But anyway, so now we're going to look at that. That right there is on a global scale. Thank you, boo. That is a global scale. Because I like to focus on things in the United States. One portion of Big Mama. But I also like to focus on the entire continent, Big Mama. But I also like to focus on the whole entire earth. Because that is where you'll start to see things not just on a state or county level, not just on a country level, not just on a continental level, not just on a global level, but all the way around. Because the more you have in this physical, the more tools you have, it's not to be able to help you physically. It's literally to be able to help you spiritually. Think about it. You pour your money into V-Bucks and into all these different type of gaming coins or cryptocurrency, adult version of that, gaming coins, to be able to cash in on the things that the game can provide. When you watch the Hunger Games, they literally had to get sponsors to help them. That's kind of how your ancestors or your spirit team works. You get tools and you get things that are sent to you, energy sent to you to be able to help you along your journey. Okay? So these things that are being placed in your face in the entertainment industry, in the media, is not just to distract you. Like, yeah, it's a distraction, but it's not just to distract you. It's quite literally to reprogram you. Now, you have a choice. As I said, as of year 2000, it was an even playing field. Ain't no more, curse. Ain't no more no. Big Mama finna let whatever happen. And like I said, originally they could not get you in the physical guerrilla warfare. You're too strong for that. A being who can't fight you physically, who don't have a body to match you. That's why they creating titanium cyborgs now. Because they know it's over. The mental paperwork is over. It's gone. It's done. All that reclassification as of year 1800 to 2000, all that reclassification, all that rewriting and renaming is done. And you don't think they know that? So now we're going to bring it home with the Lakers and the Philadelphia analogy, archetype. 76ers are a representation, and I sat here and I screenshotted this last night. Yeah, let me read it. We're going to look at the etymology of both teams. Philadelphia 76ers honors the year 1776 when the Declaration of Independence was signed in Philadelphia. So this obviously is symbolism for the contract that was written up between the grandparents who came from Europe and their sons, essentially stamping their nepotism or their trust fund over here on the new lands. That is what that Declaration of Independence was. It had nothing to do with this big, beautiful continent. It had nothing to do with this land. It literally was a stamp of approval for a certain group to be able to send their children, aka their, sometimes not just their children. We're talking about, that's 13 family levels. On a lower level, we're talking about sending their servants to be able to build up the corporations over there in the new land or the new world. It's bigger than that, boo. And it's funny, my friend right here just commented 1777 equals 777, and the live is literally titled 777. So I kid you not, I'm not pulling this out my behind. Divine alignment, shall I say? But anyways, let's look at the etymology of the Lakers. The Lakers kind of sound like Quakers, don't it? That's what I thought about when I heard it. And mind you, when I went and did some research on the Quakers, now I'm not trying to say nobody bad and I'm not trying to say nobody good. But when I went to do some research, I found out the Quakers was getting locked up by the U.S. corporation for trying to help the indigenous people. So you mean to tell me the ones who tried to tell y'all that the families was getting over on the countries and went over here to establish basically their own corporations? That's how America became this big melting pot of businesses and corporations. You mean to tell me they banished the ones who tried to tell everybody that? Or I ain't gonna say banished, but they fled to Argentina after they tried to quite literally show y'all through the hollow that didn't cost Allegedly, for entertainment purposes only. I'm not trying to inform, attack, or persuade any groups. I'm simply just sharing my perspective and the things that I am learning. The things that I'm learning change often. So guess what? I'm learning and I'm growing every day. And as I'm learning and I'm growing, I'm sharing it with you. Thank you, TikTok. I'm not trying, don't give me no restriction. Don't sit here and try to say they love to call people anti-Semitic and all that stuff these days because you get to telling the truth. A lot of people get blackballed from the industry for telling the truth. Like I said, the reason the World Cup happened that way, let me put a picture back up. The reason that this happened this way was because it is symbolism. Let me get it up there. Get it up there, TikTok. Get it up there. Anyway, you can see it. The reason that this happened, the way that it happened, is to tell you what happened. Not just what happened, but what's happening and what could happen if you don't step in and intercept your mind. It's mind control now. It's not physical. They can't do anything to you physically. It's mind control. And even then, when you wake up and realize that you control your mind, can't nobody else control that. No matter how much they try to poison you, no matter how much they try to control you, no matter how much they try to shut you up, when you realize that they can't control that, and you're literally a spirit, a light being existing on this plane, you're in it, not of it. It can't do nothing to you. Again, you gotta know that. Spain and Argentina, the ones who tried to tell you and got labeled as committing one of the biggest genocides, even though the genocide that they committed over here in the lands of Big Mama with her babies, that was way more atrocious than that. But they don't tell you about that. And as of recently, they have started to tell you. But guess what they tell you as of like 1970s? Again, when the 200-year contract was done. That was up. That was done. The 400-year contract, way done. That's why they reduced it to 200. So the 1800s, they had 200 more years to kick it and funnel and play while we were in a transition period. But guess what? The transition over, baby. 2000 marked the end of the transition period. If we going according to the timeline and the calendars that they give you, because like I said, it's all a tool. It's all a tool to be able to get you closer and closer to yourself. Anyways, the hollow that didn't cost on the back end was because they was arguing about, some didn't like how people was being treated. Some didn't like how they, just because you had a little bit more money, you get to go over here and do this to these people. Some didn't like the fact that they were lying to said people, and said people were some of their friends or some of the companies and corporations and countries and people that they were interacting with and trading with from way on before. And when they came in and did the stupid shit, it changed everything. So now you got people fighting that used to be friends. You got cousins, like I said, cousins at each other, selling each other out. Don't we see that same thing happening on a smaller level today in the media? In your life, in your family, in yourself? So again, stop thinking this shit outside of you. This is you. This is not history, this is your story. This is your truth. This is my truth. This is our truth. You get what I'm saying? So it's important for you to know so that you can carry yourself with the right energy. You can carry yourself in the right light. You don't have nobody governing your mind because you govern yourself. You operate yourself. You are the generator, operator, and destroyer of yourself. You don't need nobody to govern you. The only people that needed someone to govern them was the people who did not come with the moral compass. So they had to be given one. I just said this the other day. They had to be given a moral compass, and that came through religion. That came through laws and statutes and regulations, because they did not have that within themselves. If you naturally have a moral compass, if you naturally can be empathetic towards someone, you don't need nobody to govern you. You quite literally do it yourself. If you sit here and quite literally can be self-aware of the things that you do, why do you need a government? That's weakening you. That's limiting you. And if you're a limited limitless, infinite being. Why do we need structures and bounds? Don't that contradict everything? Like I said, the biggest sin to Adam, the biggest sin to man is naming, labeling, and dividing. So if I go and I see a whole patch of land and I divide it and tally it up and I give it to 13 families, do you not think the people who were already on the land and the people who came from the same places that them same people came from, trying to figure out how the hell did they get an advantage, and they over here stuck being servants and slaves? So now guess what? When the playing field got evened spiritually in the spirit realm, before all of this even manifested into the physical, the time was up. They had to open the doors. They had to start letting everybody come over here. The same thing with LLCs and all that stuff. I done started realizing they're giving you a piece of what they done already done. The big push for everybody to have their own corporations and company. Why we can't just, share our talents, share our gifts, and share the things that we need to share with the collective and still exist within ourselves and still be able to survive? Why do we have to play the game to survive? You don't. You don't. You have a choice. Again, in the Matrix, you have a choice. The Matrix, when I'm referring to the Matrix, I am referring to the Matrix that we, living in. But a lot of times I'm referring to the actual movie. Because that movie right there held a lot of gems. It came out in 1999, right before Y2K. Y2K, you got your superpowers. You were free. You were done. That's when you start having to make the choice yourself. That's when they gave you a phone. That's when they gave you a computer. That's when they gave you ways for them to be able to implement the systems without having to be on your head about it. You're doing it yourself. You're doing it yourself. They don't have to do anything to you anymore. All the kids born after 2000, everybody born after 2000, no limit soldiers. I say that every live, and the reason is because I mean that. No limit soldiers. We don't have limits. And soldiers. You want to know why soldiers? Because exactly 250 years ago, as of, July 4th this year, the corporation formed, known as the United States. It might have won the battle, so it could, write the history. Whoever won the battle, write his story, right? They put the perception out there, right? They might have won the battle, but guess what? Over them 250 years, especially over them first 200 years, last 50 years, we kind of been, like I said, we've been going back and forth. In 200 years, when they got rid of the toughest niggas on the block, and they sent them to the islands, they sent them to deserted, destitute, that's the word I'm looking for, destitute, barren lands for them to, they sent them there because they knew they couldn't do anything to them. Them niggas built for it tough. So their kids that's coming back, the generations, you think we don't got that running through it? Like, study epigenetics. Epigenetics will tell you whatever your grandma went through, you go through. Why? Because your grandma potentially carried you. Your grandma carried your mama, and your mama carried you inside of her while your grandma was carrying her. Oh, hold on. Wait a minute. What is going on? Anyways, back to the symbolism. I digress. I done got a little off topic. It's alright though. Spain and Argentina. Here we go. That right there on a global scale, telling you what we see here with the U.S. corporation, with the Lakers and the 76ers. It's kind of the same, same little thing. Cool. So now we got LeBron James. We got the 76ers representing the Declaration of Independence. They are a symbol for the U.S. corporation. The ones who came over here and decided they was going to scam and scheme their way into owning something. Or the illusion of owning something. Because do we really own anything? But anyway. The Lakers come from the team's original home in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Keep that in mind. Which is known as the land of 10,000 lakes. The Great Lakes. The biggest water collection in what we know of as the U.S. corporation. Hold that one. Hold that thought. Please don't let it go. Please don't let it go. I know we only, training our brains to work like 5-6 seconds at a time, but please don't let that one go. Please don't let it go. Because I'm about to show you. In a video that I posted when I said the world map that show how the world would be rewritten or the lines would be redrawn once the floods come, or basically once everything happens where it go boom, 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 when California becomes its own island, like I told you, go back to originally how it was. Queen Khalifa, okay. The Great Lakes, Michigan, all that stuff, and then put that in combination with the dams. The reason that California is even connected to the mainland is because of dams. Look at how many dams is all over the United States and when they were built. They were built around the time that a lot of the constitutions and a lot of the proclamations and a lot of the acts and the rolls and all that stuff was put in place to be able to wash away the identity. Not only were they washing away the identity of the people, they were washing away the land. But not washing it away in a way of where they're doing this big flood. Or are they? Because think, plans are put in place, problems are put in place so that solutions can be implemented. And thank you, Babu, for just mentioning something. California is already functioning as its own country. When I told y'all about that video where I had that download about California and with Drew X the Prophet, y'all remember that dude who was telling everybody to get out of California? Why LeBron leaving California? Why is he leaving his son? What is the symbolism behind that? Why is the star leaving California? The stars, like the ones that we have on the flag that connects California to the U.S. corporation. California, if you notice, a lot of your packaging, a lot of the packaging for your foods will exclude or accept California written somewhere around it. California is the ones that put the labels and the rules and the regulations on there. When you go look, when I made that video, I said California quite literally has the most regulations out of any state. Why? Because California is gearing up to do exactly what the U.S. corporation did to their European grandfathers. For their sons, or better yet, shall I say, for their $5 Indians, the ones who got the paperwork, or better yet, shall I say, the ones who graped Big Mama's babies to be able to have a say-so, not just in the crown from which they came from, not just in the land from which the people, not just maliciously or militarily through the minds and through how people operate. That's 3 ways right there that they done establish their sons, establish their kids. So now, you take all that information and you put it with, again, the U.S. corporation, 250 years as of July 4th, 2026, done. Done. Been done. As of 1976, the 200-year spell ended. They're using the little 50-year gap with the millennia. They're using that little 50-year to be able to get what it is that they think they finna get. Why you think a lot of the lawmakers that are being put in the forefront as the political face, the figurehead, when they start putting it in your face, whatever's going on behind that screen is obviously flipped? What's the topic? I'm lost. If you just now coming in, welcome in, boo. I'm grateful to have you here and I'm grateful to be here with you. Today, we're talking about just some things that I'm going over in the media surrounding specifically LeBron James and his trade to the 76ers, highlighting California, Khalifa, the ancient, I ain't even gonna say ancient, because when people use that word, they start thinking about millions and millions or thousands and thousands of years ago. This ain't even ancient. This is like maybe like a couple of centuries. But anyway, we're talking about that and how it correlates to the fall of the U.S. corporation. Also, on a global scale, we're talking about how the colonizers, the parasites, the beings, whatever you want to call them, that came from Europe after they descended into Europe or were developed, again, whatever you think. Once they came from Europe, came over to the New World, or what we know of today as Big Mama America, Boom. The same thing. The reason that we have to pay attention to what happened with America is because the same thing could potentially go on with Antarctica. But like I said, the same way that I know how my people acted on the lands of America and how I know my people acting all over the world. But anyway, I know the same thing gonna be true on Antarctica too. They have a lot of bases. The reason that I brought up Spain and Argentina is at the tip of South America. The beings that are operating or organizing in Argentina, that fled to Argentina from Europa, are the same beings who attempted to expose this whole elaborate, extravagant plan to use religion, to use governmental systems, and to basically mind control the people into giving up their own identities, giving up their land, and essentially giving up their essence. That's what they want, baby. It is bigger than paperwork. Like I said, you got to understand the paperwork. You got to understand the religion. You got to understand this stuff so that way you can understand how it's used against you and you can stop it, reprogram it, and use it for your highest living divine good. We're not just here to be outraged. We're not just here to talk just to talk. We're here to walk the walk and do the fucking work. We're not here to entertain. We're not here to have fun. We're here to do the work. So like I said, you can pay attention to what's going on with the U.S. corporation and how it's done. Because no empire, no evil, nasty empire lasts more than 250 years. Like I said, Rome never fell. It just fucking rewrote itself. Persia never fell. It just rewrote itself. And rewrote and rewound itself right on up into your inheritance. Now, profiting not only off of your inheritance, profiting not only off of your land, profiting and capitalizing and doing all sorts of egregious stuff to you and your fucking kids. They're gonna attempt to do it to your grandkids too with Antarctica. Mark my words. I'm not doing this for me. I'm not doing this for nothing that's going on right now. I'm doing this because I understand my babies are inside of me. My womb carries my creative potential. Not just my womb, my mind, which is my spiritual womb. You talking about behind the ice wall. Antarctica is what we know of as the ice wall. Once that is revealed to people, once people start understanding that, the stuff about them revealing the aliens and the extraterrestrials, the extra lands, the beings that operate the extra lands outside of the present, what we know of as Earth or continents or the center, the heart of the universe. The heart of the universe, think of it as being a nucleus to a cell. There's still other particles, there's still other parts, and not only just that one cell, but the cells interacting with the cell around it. That's on a micro level. Think about on the macro level with the 7 continents that make up Earth. Think about it on an even smaller level with the countries and the cities and all that stuff that exists within inside of them. They're building blocks. Building blocks. But going back to the lands of what we know of as today of as America, I'm not just talking about the U.S. corporation. The U.S. corporation is its own entity. It's its own entity inside of the continent of America. When I started talking about the Caribbeans and I started telling people this, that, and the third, they like, oh, that's the Caribbeans, that's Haiti, that's this, that. It's still America. It's still America. And if we really want to be honest, all 7 continents branched off from each other. Pangea. So, technically, it's all still the same thing. It's all still one. Earth is a direct reflection of the heart of this universe or the multiverses that we exist in. That is why the beings who are from the lands of Earth, the neuromelanated black beings, and the reason that I'm saying black is not the etymological definition of black, which is to be absent, actually. So the ones who are calling you black and relabeling themselves as white are actually the ones that are black, and you are the ones that are white. If we're going by the terms that they created, if we're going by phenotype or we're going by colors, yeah, you the black one. But again, it depends on how your perspective or how your perception is. They mirror the land. You think it's just that one sun up there. You know, the white sun, the reflection, the expressive sun. As above, so below. I'm gonna show you a picture because, again, I don't got time for the people who are new here, just now tuning in, to be confused. So I'm gonna show you a picture from a video. Hey girl, I ain't never seen you this close. Hey boo. Oh my gosh, I just seen a black cat. Look at that, look at that. Love how the divine speaks. So what, hold on, before I show y'all this, what does this got to do with our future, and how can what you talking about help us now? Like I said, if you understand what happened, not just in Europe, not just in America, you can see what's going on present time with Antarctica. If you stand by and you allow your kids and your grandkids to experience the same thing that your grandma and her great-grandma experienced, you are part of the problem. So with that being said, observe, don't absorb. Take the gems, leave the dirt. Utilize the tools so they don't become weapons that form against you. When you hear things about astrology, when you hear things about numerology, when you hear things that go against your religious teachings, don't count it out. All I'm saying is take the gems and leave the dirt. From that point, you'll know what to do. Hold yourself accountable. Observe, not just the things outside of yourself, how you feel, your thoughts. That's you, that's internally. Can't nobody see that but you. So take that and do something with it. That's what we gonna do, okay? Because trying to play the game like them, a lot of times it's not gonna get you where you wanna go. And laying down and just giving up, that ain't gonna work either. So do what you can do. Take the gems, leave the dirt, take the tools, and don't let them be weapons used against you. Alright? Alright. That's it. Like I said, as above, so below. You have a white sun up there in the sky that you see. The one that you see. So obviously, it must be an equal and opposite energy that you cannot see, and that must be of darkness. In the Bible, or in Genesis specifically, if you read the King James Version, whatever version you want to read, Gene Isis talks about how the beings that I said came from Europe got here. The ones who are void of the dark matter energy. The ones who lack the connection to the land. The ones who lack neuromelanin to be able to survive here. One of my mutuals, the Living Paradigm, posted a video about how she was trying to tell people that as you go up, it gets colder. So that means that sun in the sky is not what's creating heat. The heat is coming from the interaction or from the friction of that sun interaction with that sun's interaction, or the way that it expresses itself in heat waves with the sun, or the black sun, or the magnetic sun that lies at the core of this earth, or the heart. That's what they call the core. It's not this, fiery magma. It's literally think of a magnet. And you, the children of Big Mama, the children of the heart, the children who quite literally embody earth and the heart. You know how they be like the baby is the mama's heart as a physical manifestation? A hue man is a manifestation of light. Anything that's not a manifestation of light is not a human. That's where we get the aliens and the extraterrestrials. It's that simple. It's not no, this not no woo woo wah wah woo woo boom bam. It's simple. It's simple. Don't allow them to make it bigger. Don't allow them to complicate it. That's the thing that I see the most. When people get up and they get, credentials and they get things behind their name, they forget that once upon a time, you was sitting in the same room with people who didn't understand it, who couldn't read and write, who have a 5th grade fucking education because they don't have access to higher education. So no, I'm not going to sit here and I'm not going to preach to you in big words. I'm going to use, if I need to use telepathy to get the point across, we're going to do it. And just again, as above, so below. Just as this, the sun, the magnetic sun that lies in the earth. Think about the mycelium connection. And mycelium basically is like a web. Think of a web of connection of the roots in them trees. The roots within them plants and within all the organisms that connect. Think of the mushrooms. Think of all these different beings and these different energies. Think of the animals interacting, creating energy. Where is that coming from? You can't see it. You can't see relationships. You can't see ideas. You can't see thoughts. You can only see the illusions that's created by them. You can only see the signals that are sent to your brain that operates this physical flesh via your spirit, which again, you can't see that either. Some people can. That's a different topic for a different day. Your aura, the energy around you, your biofield, all of that is one. Okay? So as above, so below, as within, so without. Cool. Getting back to this. The moon, some people say, I'm just going to be flat out honest with you, is a spaceship. It's kind of a lot of evidence to prove this. And my theory is the moon is a combination of the magnetic and the yellow sun that we see. However, the yellow sun is a photon giver. The moon is anti-photon energy. The moon goes against what that sun does. However, it possesses the magnetic energy to be able to pull the ocean tides, right? So it obviously has to have a magnetic energy. Is the moon an electromagnetic artificial planet? That's the big question. I don't know. I'm not, I'm just here to figure it out just like you. But anyway, allegedly, TikTok for entertainment purposes only. Okay? And that would make sense. Again, like I said, the moon is anti-photon. If there are beings here who can take the energy from the sun, that's why you charge up in the summertime. Follow me. Listen, because it's gonna make sense. That we not talking. We talking a little metaphysical right now. We're not talking about the physical with the contracts and the governments and all that stuff right now. We're gonna go step into the metaphysical side real quick. Boom. You're an electromagnetic being, human, reflection or manifestation of light. Okay? You possess the capability to be able to turn that energy from that sun into usable energy, chemical energy, to not only operate your vessel, but further that connection, that magnetic connection with your spirit. Photons are, think of like little bitty light bulbs coming out of the sun. Those hit you. They hit your skin, which just like, you know, the plants. I wish I could go break off a leaf right now. Matter of fact, I'm about to go break a leaf off and I'm gonna show you. Give me 1 second. Thank you. Anyways, a leaf. Simple leaf. We're gonna take something in nature and I'm gonna explain it to you just like that. This leaf is what essentially catches the light and the water to be able to fuel whatever source is connected to right here. You can do the same thing. Think about how the soles, you know, of your feet, like this, go into the ground. This is you. You big, beautiful, taking up space. I love it. I love it. You're taking up space. You're creating space. The more space you create for yourself, the more energy you're able to harvest. Think about your cities. They have more people in a city, in a cell, a computer grid, if you will, because of the energy that is created from a whole bunch of these. Think of that tree back there. They got a whole bunch of these on it. And the energy that it gets. The smaller a plant is, the less square footage or the less space or the less area that it takes up. Like a solar panel. That's exactly what I'm gonna say. A solar panel. You and this and a solar panel got a lot in common, boo. You standing outside, the melanin that they think that's the key. I'm not even gonna say it on here because that ain't none of their business. It's my business. They think the melanin is the key. Because the melanin is what allows you to create your own energy, just like this. Me and this, we twins. Can't you see us? Don't we look alike? Period. Anyway, just like this girl right here can take that sun and that water and create her own energy, you can too. Boom. Just like the animals have the instincts to be able to operate and flow on this land, you can too. So with that being said, is that why they connect you more to the animal than the plant? Is that why they don't want you to, eat the vegetables and the fruits and stuff? Because the vegetables and the fruits are going to tell you. They're going to tell you. They're going to tell you what you can do. They're going to show you your mitochondrial energy. They're going to connect you to the black sun that I just showed you that is down there working with that sun to create electromagnetic energy that's, suitable enough for you to be able to survive on. What we call, the ozone layer or the firmament, a region or an area where you can exist and you can hold space and you can do the things you need to do in space. That's why they give you space. And you think space is up there, but space is down there. But anyway, you can take the sun and you can drink some water. And your mitochondria that you get from your mama, so your mama could create you. That one right there, the one that you use to create the baby. Yeah, it makes sense, don't it? Okay, cool. The mitochondria is gonna take that energy. It's gonna take what they call like ATP, glucose, all that, the sugars. Where you get sugars from naturally, fruits, right? From the plants. Okay, cool. It's gonna take that, and it's gonna give you your energy. It's gonna take an electrical signal from, like I said, from the photon energy from the sun. It's gonna create a chemical imbalance in your body. When you eat, that's what happens. When I made that big video and I was telling people, about us, being blue, green, like the avatar, some hues of purple, da 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 da. And hold on, before I say this, I got 234 people in here right now. I need y'all to like that live up, and I need y'all to share this live right now, because I want to get to that 500 before I get off. But anyway, I ain't finna get off no time soon. I'm just saying, go ahead, do your thing. Now, back to what I was saying. I'm gonna do my thing, you do your thing. Thank you. We work together. You like lie, you sit in, you get your paper, you get your pencil, you get your snacks, and you do what you need to do. And also, don't forget to comment them suns down there so we can keep it going and keep it fueling and keep the conversation going. If you got a question, you can hit my cash up right here. If not, just comment your question, and if I see it, I see it. And yeah, there we go. Now that I got that out. You get photon energy come to you. You act as like a solar panel. You act as like this plant right here. You take that energy, you use it for yourself to be able to exist. Boom. It's like that simple. It's science, but it's not complicated. Science is the study of you. Science is the study of melanin. A lot of great teachers will tell you science is the study of melanin. You think they over there studying rats and cats and dogs, nigga? No, they studying you. Because again, like I just said, they think the key is melanin because they think melanin is the reason that we're able to transcend all of this energy, not just physically, not just for your electric meat suit. Like I said, that's that sun right there. The sun down there is what connects you spiritually. You have to be a human to connect to that. You have to be an electromagnetic being, and you have to have neuromelanin to be able to do that. All right? If you don't fall in them categories, you can't do that. And like I said, we're going to round this back up to LeBron James or the Lakers, the star of the Lakers, leaving and going to Philadelphia with the U.S. corporation. The U.S. corporation is a representation of what it looks like to be an entity or to be a corporation that does not possess a light. You are not acting out of your electromagnetic energy. You are not acting out of your spirit, your physical and metaphysical energy. You're not acting as the spiritual vessel, spiritual being that you are here existing in the human form. Your human form, hue, again, light, variations of light. Man, manifestation. Variations of light, manifestation. If they call you black, you're void of that light. If they call you white, you have that light. Again, that's why the whole thing on paper has been rewritten that way. Because the very same ones who are claiming to be white or claiming to possess the light are not possessing no kind of light. And again, where you battle not against flesh and blood, but against spiritualities in high places. High places, okay? So don't look at phenotype. Matter of fact, at the rate we going, you can't even look at DNA. Because like I said the other night, you have to study your genealogy. You have to study your heritage. You have to listen at your elders. Because that DNA test that you go, spit in your tube or, give your blood for them to tell you a system that they have already programmed to say this is that and this is this. You think you're going there to get answers. And a lot of time, they're finding out who you are and not telling you. Why is it that every time an African American or a Black American or one of Big Mama's babies go do a DNA test, they don't never include indigenous American in there, even though you was born on America? I don't care how far back your ancestors go. I don't care. And a lot of our ancestors, I'ma just keep it a buck with you. Great granny, great great granny, great 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 granny did not say nothing about coming over here on no ship. So as of 26, that's like 7 generations. What American gonna come in? Why we gotta be African American? Why we gotta be Black? I ain't never been to Africa. Why do I gotta be African American? Or is that because it is a scheme set up by God to get you away from identifying with your land? You not identifying with your land means you are not identifying with yourself. You being in a state of confusion about who you are means that you're being in a state of confusion about yourself. You being in a state of confusion about yourself means that it's harder to know yourself. It's not gonna be easy. You're gonna have to put in the work. You're gonna have to go do the research. You're gonna have to go do the different roles and scrolls and books and nooks and crannies to be able to find the information you need to find for yourself. Something that I just thought about was junk DNA. It's junk to people who don't know how to use it. If they're void of something, of course it's gonna be junk to them. Of course it's gonna be junk. What do you mean? I can't use this, so it's junk to me. I can't create, telepathically. I can't move things with my mind. I can't go 40 days and 40 nights without food because I have to eat 3 meals a day. So I'm gonna tell you to do the same thing. You see what I'm saying? That's the mindset. We're not fighting against no physical people. I mean, in some cases we are, but they realize they can't fight physically no more, so they gave up. We're not even fighting mentally anymore because they realize giving you mental health diseases or basically telling you to go against the state of confusion that they have put you in. Ooh, who said that one? I know the trees just started wiggling. They said that. A lot of mental diseases that a lot of our elders and ancestors predicted was going to come about because people are confused. People are confused. You got them in a state of confusion. You not only confuse their grandmama and their great-grandmama, you confusing them. So you think the mind's not going to be disturbed? Okay, cool. Now, like I said, you just like this. Me and her, we twins. Don't we look like? Period. Y'all can do the same thing. When I made a video about the Avatar and I made a video about the Blue Bag people, I made a video the Indigo people. I made a video pretty much to get you used to the idea that everything that you put in your vessel when it comes to food and things like that is creating an imbalance, a chemical imbalance that alters your body or heals your body or continues to maintain the homeostasis of your body. Using that sun and using the water is literally all you need. We have evolved to eat food because we needed it, because we fell in frequency. I gotta get it! Period, bitch! Anyway. When you eat and vegetables, somebody said sun and water, no vegetables. Like I said, my big video, people got that confused. When I said the food that you eat creates the imbalances to be able to generate the ATP or generate the energy, That's what's giving you your energy. The imbalances that's created with the food, the net energy that you get from the food that you had to put in, that your body had to work to break down. Like the same way you go work your 9 to 5 and get broke off literally barely anything compared to what you put in there. It's the same thing with the food. The plants, these are alive. These have life in them. Okay? So they're doing the same thing. They're going in your body. Like you think them parasites and them bacteria that live in there? Yeah, all them parasites and them bacteria ain't bad. All bacteria is not bad. When you take antibiotics and they kill all the bacteria, they killing the good and the bad. Think about why their solution to everything is to kill the good and the bad. You think the people who would literally give you antibiotics to kill your good and bacteria, the bacteria that's there to actually help you, you think them very same people would not take your behind out with them when they corporation going downhill? You think they won't take you out with their corporation? Play the game. Cool. That goes back to what I was saying about the Lakers and about the symbolism behind that big announcement, and about Kobe and how he passed away in 2020, exactly 6 years ago, and how he was 41 when he died, and LeBron James is now 41, and he's now making all these comments about he just want to live and he got to do these sacrifices and all this stuff like that, and he's leaving his son over there in LA, over there in the corporation with the very same people that he left, to sell out to the corporation, to sell out to the United States, to sell out and paint to you the illusion that you got to keep riding for this Declaration of Independence that ain't declared nothing for you, first and foremost, that declare that the very same people who were enslaved to their masters came over here and had the rights to enslave you, and not only that, rewrote you and took you away from your land. And you may be like, okay, how does that have anything to do with anything? Look at the symbolism, look at the energy. Again, I'm not here to tell you, persuade you, inform you, attack you, do none of that. I'm here to simply shed light and drop gems. If you want to go down the rabbit hole, go down the rabbit hole. If you want to take the gems and make you a little ring, baby, create you some jewelry. Design yourself, deck yourself out and use it, because that's all I'm giving it to you for. So use it as a tool. There we go. The food that you eat creates the imbalances. That's what creates the energy. So with that being said, the same thing with the meat. You eat meat because that meat, that flesh, has consumed the plants, which have consumed the sun, which is the primary source, like the trophic food level. Instead of you consuming the meat to consume the plants to consume the sun, you could consume the plants to consume the sun and get the energy. Or you could just go to the sun and get the energy yourself. That's why they don't want you outside. That's why they want you in the house. You know, you starting to see what I'm saying? For the people that's asking how we gonna use this information, you use it to make changes in your life. Your life is the journey. Your life is the journey. Your life is the journey. The things you pick up along the journey are your tools. The things you don't pick up, if you let them be used against you, they are the weapons. It's as simple as that. I can't sit here and, make it any denser than that. I really get, I'm really trying to make it as dense as possible. When I say dense, I mean 3 dimension, 4 dimension, 5 dimension, 3rd density, 4th density, 5th density. The lower you go in dimensions, or the closer you get to zero, the closer you get to wholeness, the closer you get to dark matter energy. Everything began in the darkness, like they say in Genesis. Again, if we gonna use tools, we gonna use them. Everything is a tool. Use it. And somebody just sent me a little dolphin gift. I love dolphin. Ba-boom. When you know that you can create your own energy, all that eating 3 times a day, all that packing yourself with food is not going to work. Because you're quite literally putting things in your body for you to be able to gain a net amount of energy. But you're losing more trying to break that down than you are gaining. So let's just say you put in 5. I don't want to use no measurement. I'm going to just say 5. You put in 5 You only gonna get 3 back because you done burnt off 2 trying to break that 5 down. Thank you for the stingray, boo. And not to mention, even if you are doing that and you're getting something back, it's not guaranteed that you're gonna get that back, because what you're eating may not necessarily be good for you. If you're eating a whole bunch of things that have been enriched, refined, and stripped from their germ, stripped from their grains, stripped from all the nutrients and all the fiber and all the vitamins and minerals and all that stuff, and you just eating it just to eat it, just to say you eat, you're doing more harm than good, because you're not eating anything with substance. And that doesn't just go for, that's on a physical, animalistic level. Let's take it up a level. Let's take it emotionally. If you are sitting around and you're around negative people, if you're around angry people, if you're around people who are sad and depressed and don't want to grow because they constantly want to suppress themselves to fit in and to do things according to a system that was placed to govern them instead of governing themselves, you are subjecting yourself to be able to be taken away from as someone who knows themselves, as someone who governs themselves, as someone who is mindful and observant of what they have going on. You are creating a situation where you could have things taken from you more than you're putting out. That's when people become depressed, because it's like you're suppressing yourself to be able to fit in, to be able to exist, to be able to survive. You're living in a lower state because you're living in survival mode. Take it on up to a neocortex level, or to a level of existing outside of this physical, fleshly, 3-dimensional plane existence. You start to see spiritually. You can't lay with everybody. You can't eat from everybody. You cannot go up in everybody's church or everybody's place of spiritual practicing, including them doctor's offices and all that stuff too. You can't go all up in there and think people gonna have your highest level divine good if you not having your highest level divine good in mind. They practicing. They doing what they supposed to be doing. Are you? So like I said, it's bigger than just what we eat on a physical level. It's bigger than just food, you know. You start seeing things with the shortages. I'm going to touch on Cyclosporia real quick. You start wondering why they telling you to do something you should have been doing already, which is washing your fruits and vegetables after you get them from that store. Why do you do that? You're cleansing them of any energies physically and metaphysically. You're getting rid of the bacteria or the germs that are on the said vegetables or the pesticides and things that have been sprayed on them. But you're also spiritually removing the energy that has been there when they've been sitting in them stores and millions of people don't walk by and touch them and looked at them. That's what, you know, some people refer to as praying over their food or saying grace, giving gratitude for the fact that their food is not going to kill them or do any harm to them in advance. Okay. With the Cyclosporia thing, it's like food is not going to kill them or do any harm to them in advance. Okay. With the Cyclosporia thing, it's like all right, y'all ain't going nowhere. I mess with you for that. You down, you real, you turn, you beautiful, and I'm coming to your birthday party, and I rate you a 10 out of 10. anyways, back to what I was saying. The food, the environments, the people, the rules, the regulations, the laws, the statutes, and the limitations. That's not you. Like, I don't know what else to say. That's not you. That's not you. That's quite literally things being put there for you to see if they're gonna harm you or if they're gonna help you. It's based on your perspective. There's duality in everything, and it's like one of the laws of the universe. There's duality in everything. So it's an equal and opposite reaction. Just as much as a negativity is positivity. If you start noticing it's a whole bunch of negativity in a space, in an area, and you the only bright light in there, why would you continue to be the only bright light in there? If you know you've been eating milk and cheese and eggs and meat and it's not helping you, it's tearing your body down, it's causing you cancer, it's giving you fibroids, it's giving you tumors, it's giving you a whole bunch of mucus that you can't seem to get rid of, because your body is trying to move that lymph and move that waste through it. If you constantly, what is this beautiful gate to heaven? Let me stop. That was pretty. I like that. You constantly doing all that. If you constantly allowing yourself mentally to be put in a place where you think a foreign entity that just relatively got here, meanwhile you and your people been here for X amount of time, if you allow keyword to enter your mind, if I haven't said it already, is not your brain. Your brain, hold on, if you allow them to do that, you're allowing them to attack you, you're allowing them to have control over you. But back to what I was about to say. Damn! I should have held on to that. Maybe it wasn't meant to be held on to. It's alright. Anyways. She is wrong on so many levels. Well, when you get your live and you make your TikTok and I come over there and I see what you talking about, and if I don't agree with it, I'm going to tell you wrong too. Matter of fact, no, I'm going to tell you right. Because I want you to think you right. Because I don't want to change your perception of yourself. Unless need be. Unless you're here for a reason. Unless what I'm saying actually resonates. Unless you're actually attracted to the energy. Because what did we just talk about? Electromagnetic energy. Unless that means that I magnetized you and you magnetized me for a reason. So obviously, you need to hear it, boo. I hate to say that. You're here for a reason. It's okay. I love you. Cause you've been turning up this whole time. I've been seeing you come in and talk about you don't know what we talk about, trying to confuse everybody. Don't come in here with that confusion. Anything. This is a I ain't gonna say a channel message, but this is a download. Anything that causes confusion in your reality is not of you. Let me say that again. Anything that causes confusion, anything that causes you to doubt yourself and benefit somebody else, anything that causes you to be humble, which means to think lowly of yourself, anything that tricks you out of your mind, and that's what I was about to say. You see how the divine work? It come back round. Anything that goes against your mind and is not of you, let it go. Let it go. Because all that's going to do is continue to put you in a bind and continue to confuse you and trick you out your motherfucking spot. And where you are destined to be, can't nobody remove you but you. So stop pointing the blame on them destiny swappers. Stop pointing the blame on them monitoring spirits. Stop pointing the blame on everything else except yourself. Take accountability and analyze where it is that you can step up and shake and shift. Because we ain't gonna get nowhere pointing at Peter and Paul and blaming Judas and doing all this, that, and the third for what they doing. We gonna get somewhere by identifying with the fact that Peter, Paul, Judas is not their actions, is not their feelings, is not their emotions. They are literally Peter, Paul, and Judas. They're gonna be them. Peter not gonna act like Paul, Judas not gonna act like Peter. Do what's best for you. Take the gems, be the dirt. Because that's all we doing anyway. Like I said, the same thing with even on down to your digestion and something as simple as you doing what you need to do to survive, and that's eat. Something you've been doing since you came out your mama. Okay? You can look at that little thing that everybody do. And you can see What I eat don't make you shit. What you eat don't make me shit. And just because you eat it don't mean it's going to be beneficial to you. Just because you taking it in don't mean it's going to benefit you. What I was going to say about the mind was the mind is the system. It's the filter. It's the interception between the spiritual and the physical. Your brain is the organ that is responsible for maintaining and governing your physical vessel. They are not the same. Your mind is separate from your body. You are not your body. Your soul is not your body. Your body is your body. Your mind is your mind. And your soul is your soul. Your spirit is not your soul. Think of us as a computer, exactly, because the computers was modeled at you. And we're going to get to that in a second. When somebody asks the question, how do we use this to apply moving forward? Moving forward, we're going into a technological age. That's that Aquarius energy, like I said. That's that Pluto energy, with people, the U.S. corporation in its 250 years, for example, being a fall or being a representation of the end of an era. The end of a physical era and the transformation into another one. Trans. Keep that prefix in mind. Trans. This is more than just physical. So they can't do anything to you on the body no more. They can't do anything to you on the mind no more. They never been able to touch your motherfucking spirit. But they put things in place for you to govern your own spirit. Like I said, like religion. But guess what? Now we're looking at a whole different little evolution tactic. We're looking at transhumanism. Transhumanism. Let's break that down. Matter of fact, I'm gonna get the etymology of that word so we can truly see. So somebody won't be over here talking about everything I'm saying is wrong. Even though I be using what Google be saying. I be using the very same thing y'all be telling me to go look it up on. Just because it's not packaged in the gift box that you want it to be packaged in. Just because it's not coming from the messenger that you want it to come from, which is probably your favorite celebrity. If they were saying the same thing I'd be saying, you're a fuck. Be all on their goddamn pedestal, praising them about what they saying. But because you don't like the messenger, you ain't gonna take the message. That's foolish and that's ignorant. Don't do that. I just told y'all the other day, do not sit here and miss the message because you're looking at the messenger. The messenger acts as a filter for the message. That does not negate the fact that the message is still there. That does not negate the fact that the messenger is still there. Let's look at the etymology of transhumanism. Okay. Transhumanism comes from the prefix trans, meaning across, beyond, or through, combined with the word humanism. Trans, Latin root word meaning across or beyond. Human, from Latin humanus, relating to people. Ism, a suffix used to denote a belief system, philosophy, or movement. The belief that you can go beyond humanism. Because let's look at the definition. Transhumanism is an intellectual and cultural movement that advocates using science and technology to enhance physical and cognitive abilities, eliminate aging, and overcome human biological limitations. Mind you, the limits that was set when these beings were created. Like I said, A being who does not possess a soul but can walk in his flesh suit is an electric being. A being who has a spirit but doesn't have the flesh to be able to associate that with it is a magnetic being. A combination of the two, an electromagnetic being, is a human. It is a manifestation of light in physical form. Anything that goes beyond that, a belief, a lie, because that's what a belief is you tricking and reprogramming. That you could go beyond a human and essentially get rid of, what it say? Cognitive, it say get rid of aging, biological limitations, and enhance physical and cognitive mental abilities. So, you sitting here asking, okay, what this got to do with what we got going on right now? What are you talking about? How does that correlate to what's going on right now? If you don't see with all the dystopian movies coming out, if you don't see with AI and ChatGPT, if you don't see with them data centers that's soaking up the water that holds your consciousness and your memory, the very same water that you drink to get your consciousness and your memory, to cleanse and remove energy. If you don't see how that is forming the same way that the U.S. corporation formed as a false illusion. Again, you can't see the U.S. corporation. They only tell you what it is based on the White House, again, that they came and stole from Big Mama. That was Big Mama's house. That was Big Mama's house that Lil wannabe Big Daddy came in and sat his tail in her chair and said, I'm Big Daddy. If you don't see how that same Big Daddy tell you he come out the sky when really he crawled from the depths of hell and sat in that seat and told you he run you, you can't see him. Why? Because it's the same thing as the U.S. court, a fictional entity. Anyways, it was created in somebody's mind. It was a tell-a-vision. It was a vision that they told and created the image so that it could come true. It was a manifesto. It was a script. And it was a destiny swap. You could call it. You could call it that. You could call it that. You could call it that. But it was a manifesto. It was a manifesto. The same way that happened on a physical plane. That was something as simple as your human existence, your right on this physical plane with this flesh to be able to exist here. And not be considered something as lowly as a slave, or something that a being who does not have a moral compass, like I said, and one had to be given to them through a book, through laws and regulations, so they wouldn't go around harming and hurting and pillaging and people. You're gonna let people who don't possess something that you do tell you how to use something that you do. You're gonna let people who tell you you got junk DNA tell you how to use your damn DNA. And it's junk to them because they don't understand it. We're not talking about racism. We're not talking about none of the isms right now. Okay? Because all them isms, schisms and schisms is basically, again, a label, a division, a branch, a stream from the main river flow. To cause division, to cause separation, to capitalize, to commercialize, to consume. We can go on and on and on. All the isms. But it brings you back to the main point. To separate and get you away from the true identity, your true essence, and your true source. You going to something outside of yourself for a moral compass when you already have one. And if you don't have one, then I'm not talking to you. So I command and demand you exit right now. Because we not even going to bring that energy over here. Now we back. Alright. It was one more thing I wanted to show y'all before I got ready to get off of here. We was talking about transhumanism. Take notes on that when it comes to the war in Antarctica, because Antarctica is not going to be necessarily a utopia of some sort of corporations, how the United States was, or how America was, where a lot of the different people got to come over here and establish their businesses and their corporate identities and all that stuff like that. That's what America is. That's what the U.S. corporation is as a specific. A bunch of businessmen coming over here and saying, we're going to take this land and we're going to create our business and our corporations and our companies, and we're going to spread them all throughout the globe. So now with that being said, the corporations and the companies and the rules and regulations are already there on the 7 major continents. So now the wall that we know of as Antarctica or Antarctica that's thawing out, which they can put anything on a map. They can tell you anything. They can tell you the motherfucking sky red on the map, but it's blue. If you go look at maps before even 1500s, if you go look at maps circulating before the Gregorian calendar and all that stuff was rewrote, a lot of the stuff was destroyed or hidden or preserved in the museums and stuff that they tell you is, you know, there for your artifacts and your tools to be on display for other people to see how you did the work that you needed to do. And your people operate the way that they need to operate. I digress. Anyway, you can go check the museums and all that archaeological research and all that stuff, was a lot of the major stuff was destroyed. Period, point blank. So you don't know how to use the technology. You don't know how to use the pyramids. You don't know how to use all this. You don't know how to use that and that and energy. And you don't know how to sit and ground and connect with the earth and get in tune with your electromagnetic energy, because the things that were there for you to be able to know that that's what you're supposed to be doing were taken away from you by people who could not do that. You don't see that? So it's like Antarctica, maybe it's not necessarily the corporations or the fake entities wanting to come over here and establish businesses. Maybe it's them wanting to establish a way to be able to further deploy of transhumanism, further deploy of cyborgs, further deploy of merging metal and flesh. And I say metal and flesh because there's no spirit involved. Yeah. So you remember when I told you, as of 1800, the physical, it was over? As of 2000, the mental warfare was over? And we were wrestling not against flesh and blood, but against spiritualities and principles in high places. This next go round, this next cycle, because we're not going to deny the fact that we operate in cycles. That's basic. Neo's Guide to the Basics 101. We don't flow in lines. We flow in cycles. We flow in circles. We go round and around and around. And if you look at it like that, it's a circle. But if you turn it like this, it's a spiral. You have a choice of when you gonna enter your loopholes, when you gonna use your junk DNA or the interactions between the creation energy. When you gonna use that? Or you gonna just let it sit there and keep being junk? Or you gonna continue to allow beings to shape and shift and evolve themselves, like they're telling you with the aliens and the extraterrestrials? They want you to go ahead and get scared of the very same people who are going to potentially stop you from giving away your rights as a being, but not just any being, a human being or a manifestation of light, a God in physical fleshly form. Do you really want a computer, this iPad, to have more laws, rules, rights, and regulations than you? So now, when I'm saying how this correlates to what we got going on now, how this correlates and how you're going to use this information, when I'm telling you this, I'm not telling you this because I just want to sit here and play and have something to talk about and how's the weather and small talk and da 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 da. We are here to make changes. I'm here to make a change. I can't speak for nobody else, matter of fact. A lot of greats failed because they were trying to get, people together and and they end up getting infiltrated. Stuff like that. It start with you. You got to do the work. We can sit here all day long and try to protest. We can sit here all day long and try to revolt against it. But the revolution will not be televised. It will not be something that comes to you in this nice, cute little box. A lot of times, you have to go through hell in order to know what heaven feels like. Our ancestors have paid the price and they are working through us. Like I said, the babies born after 2000s, no limit soldiers. Why? Because them ancestors that wanted they get back, when that race ended, when that finish line came about, they got they get back and they hopped in the first train rolling and came back. And that's what we see here today. They want you scared of your ancestors because they know that your ancestors are you. They want you scared of your spirit guides because they know that those are aspects of yourself that are there to help you ascend. They want you scared of the wealth and the rights and the essence that exists within you so that they can use it to fuel their city grids or their computer grids, which are basically coming all back to the point of AI. Ancient intelligence coming back, being manipulated into artificial intelligence. Just like artificial intelligence is coming or is here, is developing, ancient intelligence is here and developing. And those are the aliens that they want you to be scared of. Those are the spirit guides and ancestors that they want you to hate. Meanwhile, you praise theirs when you see them Confederate statues. When you give everybody that dollar bill that has the blood of your ancestors on it. That cotton that they picked. Not because some man came over here and was beating them on their back. The cotton that they picked because that's what they had to do to fucking survive. They was doing it before they got here. They still gonna be doing it. And hell, if you really want to be honest, we're still doing it today. That dollar bill is made out of the very same thing that a lot of our ancestors picked because they had to survive. They left them for dead. They left them for dead and they had to figure it out. After everything that they had established was destroyed. That's the American Indian Wars. That's the establishment of the U.S. corporation. That's the lands that everybody think is so great in this big new world. That's the corporations that exist on them. This land is beautiful. This land has everything that we need to be able to survive, and yet we continue to fuel systems that tell you you need something else outside of yourself to be able to do the very thing that you came here to do, and that is exist, live, and learn. You keep asking how we're going to use this moving forward instead of taking the tools and leaving the dirt. That is a great question to ask. How can I use the information? But once you ask that question, do not limit yourself because you've been told, oh, I have to believe this. I have to do that. I have to exist on this space or in this place or with these people. You don't have to do anything. And like the old folks say, I ain't got to do nothing but stay black and die. I ain't got to do nothing but hold my essence and know that every day I transform. Every moment, every breath, every second I become new. That's what they mean when they say that. It ain't just about no phenotype. It ain't just about no color. It ain't just about no skin. It ain't just about no name. It ain't just about no reparations. Nigga, we fighting for essence. We fighting for spiritual freedom. They don't gotta put you in those shackles and chains no more. They don't gotta lie to you and tell you that you're no longer a Slavic reflection or a slave or a reflection of the indentured servants that they brought over here to erase and swap with you. No more of that. No more of lying to you, telling you that they're freeing you through this fake document called the Emancipation Proclamation that was actually for the corporations and the entities that I just mentioned, and not necessarily for the people. The people were pawns, considered quite literally 3 3/5 of human, when in actuality they were the real humans, and the ones who considered them 3/5 were only 3/5, no more. I'm not here to play. You can sit there and think that 13, 14, and 15th amendment. Look at that word right there. You can think that was for you. Anything that U.S. corporation did went against you to erase your identity and to erase the fact of what was actually here when they got here. And that was nations. Beautiful nations. Big Mama had everybody. When I'm talking about Big Mama, I'm literally talking about Big Mama right now. I'm not talking about the land known as Big Mama. I'm literally talking about your Big Mama, your grandmama. Literally had everybody in their place doing everything that they needed to do. The matriarchy was thriving. Big Mama knew that John could lift. Big Mama had him working on the house. Big Mama knew Susan was smart. Big Mama had Susan doing paperwork. Big Mama knew. Big Mama put people where they needed to go, and Big Mama made sure that she loved everybody along the way. That's how we operated. We made sure that our brothers and sisters was looked out for. We made sure that our land was taken care of. That's where they got the whole plantations from. The systems were already, bro, this finna piss me off. The systems were already there. I gotta pipe down. That I know what it is. I know that Mars energy. Like I told y'all the other day, when you a Saturn real person, you gotta know when to pipe the fuck down, or else you gonna write a check your ass can't cash. Okay, come back down. It's okay. Big Mama put everybody in their place, put on where they needed to go. Doom. Big Mama loved on her babies. Big Mama told everybody what they needed to fucking hear. And that's why today is so much confusion when it comes to after grandma passed away with the family. That go to show you right there what we had and what we still got, if you look at it that way. Even if you look at it in the projects, you see some of the same structures and systems. It's just operating under a different name. Man, turn the fuck. I gotta, gonna be demure today. For however long it work, cause sometimes I just don't be giving a damn. But anyway, boom. The matriarchal mindset was here. It was already prevalent. We already had irrigation systems. They didn't know how to wash their fucking ass and wipe it. How they gonna come over here and build toilets and tell somebody where to pee and poop? We already had the vegetation and the plant. I think a lot of people miss that. Plantations. Sharecroppers. You mean to tell me? I ain't even gonna say that. Push that shit out. You funny as well. Sharecroppers. They were already working the land. They were already making a name for themselves. They were already doing the things Big Mama pushed them. You right. I'm gonna turn up, twin. They were already putting them in the place Big Mama needed them to go. When the people who again had claim, when the people who don't have the moral compass, when the people who tell you got junk DNA because they don't know what the fuck it is, when the people tell you that you are black or absent of light, when in reality, you hold all the fucking light. When them sad people came over here and did what the hell they did, and seen, I know them, we slaves, and them living like this. Cause where we from, the families got working for them. Man, they got over here, they seen all them riches. They got over here, they seen that everything we touched turned to fucking gold. Oh, it was over with. Paradise, you better think twice, cause it's not paradise. Ooh. You know that little song right there? Uh-huh, that one. Boom. A Fool's Paradise. Let me work with that. Alright. When they came over here and seen how Big Mama had her house set up and had her house operated, they then turned it from a house or a black house to the White House. Quiet on the creek. We're quiet on the creek. Anyway. Alright. Came over here, did that, boom, boom, bam. Like I said, you want to know, okay, how is this affecting us now? We always talking about the past. We always talking about, again, if the past is the present and the present is the future, then it all exists right now. But the same thing with Big Mama, the same thing with that, boom, boom, bam. Now it's on a more local level. We got houses, we got community. Big Mama's babies created their own houses. Sometimes they get labeled as projects. Why? Because they are the areas that are concentrated with Big Mama's babies the most, and the corporation likes to experiment on said projects. Also, said projects happen to lay on a lot of ley lines or a lot of energy centers so that it can constantly upgrade said place. You know what I'm saying? Like in DC, you know. Yeah. Exactly like in DC. Because DC, technically, is the U.S. corporation itself. That's another topic for a different day. But the White House, that was Big Mama house. What the hell? You're crazy! Boom! Now we get into a community level. Now everybody has a what in their house? A computer and a phone. Nobody really knows how the computer and the phone work, but you know, yeah, everybody happy. We getting TVs, we getting computers, we getting phones, we getting a way for them to be able to tell lies and visions. We getting a way for them to be able to track and use and look and see and observe and monitor. And now that we live in a surveillance state, because they gotta keep track on their property, right? Don't you got cameras on your house? Don't you got cameras on your property? They gotta surveil their property, right? So now you get a phone. Now you get a computer. Now you get FaceTime. Now you get social media. You get to post yourself. We don't gotta follow you. You can just post where you at, and we see where you at, and it's that easy. Niggas just giving it out now. We don't gotta do nothing. Yep. Because as of 2000, like I said, that's why they started really going heavy with the food. Really? I'm talking about they was squaring up like this with Big Mama in the kitchen. Because like I said, Big Mama know how to take that food or take the people and put them where they need to go. Take the food and create a soulful meal that we know of as soul food. Big Mama know how to do that, yeah. Real good. Take that same thing, take people, put them in their places, use their strengths, help them work on their weaknesses. Everybody operated together. That's where we got these plantations, these systems, or these communities where people were organized and governed in structures. When Lil Daddy, aka the creation of Europe, when the creation of the Europeans, and if I'm really being honest, everybody thinks these people are white or these people look phenotypically like Neanderthals. Those are the creations. The creator, the God, you know, the illusion, the darkness, is just that. Them the ones pulling the strings and using their creation as the puppet to be able to be their henchmen, or better yet, shall I say, their pets, because of the whole mating with animal things. Anyway, the whole Bigfoot thing. Anyway, the whole caveman thing. Anyway, you know, animals, humans. Y'all really stood out of elementary school. Oh my gosh. And man, wait a minute. situation was when they came over here and they told you that you ain't have shit, so basically you ain't gonna be shit, you ain't never have shit, da da da. Overthrew Big Mama, overthrew her food. Now we seeing like the freaking, like I said, from 18 to 2000, we in mental warfare. So physically, they don't have to do nothing. They do it. You do it to yourself. You learn it. You basically, they put instructions in place for you to do it to yourself. So now we getting Big Mama out the kitchen. Big Mama, get back. I don't want to see that flab hanging up under your arms. I don't want to see none of that. As a matter of fact, Big Mama used to be fine. Big Mama used to be like 80 years old, skin glistening, gray hair all down her back with the braids, with the jewels, with the beads, with the designer, and yeah. Big Mama was cute. Big Mama was fine. Big Mama was sexy. Big Mama's energy was the big. Big Mama may have been small, but her energy was big, so she was Big Mama. I don't give a damn how little she was. But see, when they start infiltrating and they start giving you their food and giving you their poison, mind you, if they came over here and we taught them how to eat with our crops and with our food and with the things that we farmed on our plantations or the stations that we planted things at, like I told you, that dollar bill that's made out of cotton from your ancestors' hands. Anyway, I digress. The foods that was created, took, enriched, fortified, rebranded, and rebuilt, and given back to you. So now you don't crave Big Mama cooking no more. You don't want Big Mama food no more because you want to go get food from the con man down the road at the chop shop, where they literally... Misery loves company. So if they gotta do that, if they gotta eat animals and they gotta do all these egregious things to survive, and they don't wash their booty and all that stuff like that, you think if they miserable in that phase, they don't want you to be miserable and not wash your booty and not eat right too? So guess what they gonna put in your food when you go to the chop shop, when you go down the road and get out of Big Mama kitchen and you go to the kitchen of the corporation and the companies, the same corporations and companies that came over here in the beginning. Yeah. I ain't gonna call no names. Allegedly. I ain't gonna play with y'all today. Boom. You think them same corporations that came up here and established themselves on this land, created laws, created government, created structures, rewrote you, told you ain't this, told you ain't that, and told you that they is the real and you ain't the real and they the fake? You think them same people gonna come over here and give you some good food like what Big Mama gave you, the food that was cooked with love, cooked with the soul, cooked with the essence, cooked with the etheric energy? And not just cook, but prepare. Because a lot of times you didn't even have to cook shit. You just go walk up to the tree. Tiki. You just go walk up to the tree and you just get it and eat it. Because nature provides. You don't have to do anything. Nature give you what you need. You give nature what they need. You know, you take the seed. You put the seed in your mouth. You put it in the ground. You ain't hear that from me. Anyway. Yes, you did. And it shapes and it shifts to you. The land that you existed on grew the herbs that you needed to heal yourself. If you got a lot of dandelion weeds growing up in your yard, you got a lot of plantain. I know them probably the main two right now, because a lot of our lands are trying to rid and cleanse our people of those very same things that I just mentioned that you got from not eating out of Big Mama kitchen and taking your behind to the chop shop down the road and getting that fast food that is filled and fueled with the very same thing that causes cancers, tumors, fibroids, cysts, and everything else inside of you. Because instead of you taking that seed, putting your saliva or putting your DNA on it, putting it in the ground, and it giving you what you needed, or giving you some dandelion root so that way you can heal your liver that a lot of us have imbalances with because of the toxins and the drugs, so you can heal your kidneys and your adrenals because of the poisonous sugars and overly processed foods and things that we eat, because of the lack of nutrients and minerals within our water, and the chlorine and all that stuff that's in the water. You got plantain growing to heal your skin, because your skin is your largest organ, and your skin quite literally accepts and receives as well as pushes shit out that is not needed when your kidneys and your livers and your digestives can't do what it need to do. All that stuff growing up in your yard, you calling it weeds, you shaving it down, and you getting rid of it. But yet again, we're going to the fucking chop shop to get some bleached, enriched buns with some meat some mystery meat, and we gonna put some red 40, not tomato ketchup, and a couple of onions and a couple of little sprinkles of lettuce, and give you that with some starch sugar fries with a whole bunch of salt so it trick in. I'm talking about sending fireworks in your mouth. You got salty, you got sweet, you got savory, you got crunchy, you got chewy, you got doughy, you got all that. Again, because Big Mama wasn't giving you that shit at one time. Like your folks be telling you now. Don't eat up all that food in that refrigerator, because you ain't getting no more till the groceries come back round. You shouldn't pack your mouth with all that stuff. When once upon a time, all you need to go do was get an apple off the tree. All you need to go do was get a pear off the tree. All you need to go do was get a grape, a muscadine, a plum, a peach, a damn orange, something off the tree. If you wanted some more, you got another one. Not constantly pack yourself, because there's no nutrients in what you're eating. So you're not getting the fulfillment. So again, them chemical signals that's sent through your brain for your body to be able to operate. Remember, like I told you earlier, technically you can take the energy and make it yourself, or you can get it secondarily or tertiary from something else, like meat or like plants. That creates a chemical imbalance, and that gives you your energy, or fuels your body rather. Heals your body. But if you're not giving it anything of any substance, like Big Mama used to do when she cooked with intention, with soul. Ooh, you gotta feel that all through your body. Soul. She put the herbs from the yard in there because the herb from the yard had your DNA in them to be able to heal you. She used the trees and the seeds and the plants and what we call vegetables or roots and leaves, in the fruits, or the babies, or the reproductive part. Really honest. She used that to create something that was fueling the soul. Not just physically satisfying your taste buds, but actively giving you the tools needed, because them herbs have energies too, those plants have energies too, to be able to fuel you. But again, we going to the fucking chop shop, getting the mystery meat that may got like 20% nutrients in it, if that, and ain't doing nothing but creating less net energy and more expended energy. Or basically, you gonna have to put in more to break it down than what you getting out of it. The same way with you working your blood, sweat, and tears for a corporation, for them to make millions off of you and break you off $10 to $14 for an hour of your time. When again, Big Mama then wasn't even governed by time. And bringing me back to the same point, all of that was already established. Mind you, all of that already established. You don't gotta go through all this. But because people who are miserable want to be with people who are miserable, and hurt people, they take the substance out your food and give you something bleached and enriched. That's a problem. So what the solution gonna be? We're gonna give you some medicine. But the food that you was eating was supposed to be the medicine. Anyway, we're gonna give you some medicine. The medicine has antibacterials in it. So we're gonna get rid of not only your good bacteria, but your bad bacteria that we claim is bad. But everything is created in symbiosis to help heal you. Your body is a self-healing organism. But anyway, I digress. Let's move on. We're not gonna get caught up on that. No, we ain't gonna get caught up on that. Give you the medicine, which is actually a drug, because now it's not actually doing what the original problem was, which is that you wasn't getting the fucking nutrients to begin with. So we're gonna create some more problems. You said your stomach bleeding because you taking too much ibuprofen. You said you can't digest the food properly, so it's creating stomach and colon cancer and all these different cancers of the digestive tract because you can't digest it because your body don't know what to do with it. Your body created it. You said what? Huh? You said the kidneys failing. You need to go on dialysis. Huh? What? Your kidneys failing and you need to go on dialysis, so that means that we're gonna flush the blood out your body. We ain't gonna tell you we gonna tell you what we're gonna do with the blood. Anyway, we're gonna flush the blood out your body. And we're gonna pump it up with a solution to help your kidneys. So not only does your body gotta redo all that blood that they didn't pull out, now I gotta process this bullshit you pumping into it too. And so now, damn, telling me I got kidney failure. They telling you got cancer. They telling you this. They telling you that. So now you go get chemo, which is the very same thing that the sun is supposed to do, except it's artificial. Okay. The chemo kills, again, same thing with antibiotics. The chemo kills not only the good things, but the bad things too. So now you gotta take more. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's a cycle. It just keep going. I can keep going on and on and on. But it just keep going. It just keep going until you take a break within yourself and say, what am I doing? What am I doing? What am I doing? Why am I looking to a practitioner to practice on me when I can practice on myself? Why am I looking for medicine when everything that I need or everything that I have to do in my daily life, including eating, is my medicine? Why can't I just shake my life around what works best for me? Like Big Mama used to do, put you in the place where you need to go. Say, hey, baby, I see you are a great speaker. Your ass talk way too much. But guess what? I'm going to teach you how to do public speaking and stuff like that because I see a gift inside of you, and I think you would really do numbers talking to people. Hey! Sit down! You got so much energy, boy! Sit down! That would be what Mommy say. Sit down! You are running to sit down! You going in and out the door, you about to blow out all the air conditioning. What's going on? Sit down! Sit down for right now. Let me get you a snack. Let me get you something together. Because I'm finna take you out there and put you on that track, nigga. You finna be the next Usain Bolt. Like, that's how it operates. That's how it works. And that's how our gifts were able to be nurtured by our elders, which is something that, again, the transhumanism push deployed for AI and ChatGPT is attempting to take away from. People don't want to go sit and talk to nobody no more. They want to talk to chat all day. People don't want to sit and get the knowledge from their elders and their ancestors anymore. They want to talk to chat all day. Want to be parasocial on social media all day. You see? Again, same thing with the fast food being put there instead of Big Mama Soul Food Kitchen. You see the same thing with us learning how to garden and how to take care of the land and the herbs and get everything that we need to be able to heal ourselves as long as we're healing the land. You see how that got turned into some Slavic propaganda, aka slaves, because we was gonna have to do it anyway. We was already doing it, like I said, when they got it, we was already doing it. You would have had to do it anyway. Hell, you still gotta do it now. I'm looking at the garden and I'm like, dang, whether they put me out or not, I'm going to do this anyway. Shit. You thinking it's like when we was kids, you thinking it's chores. You gonna have to clean up anyway. Stop telling the kids it's chores. Tell them to get over there and clean up. You're gonna have to clean up. You're gonna have to clean after yourself. But if I tell you, you get an allowance or it's a chore, you don't. Like, you think you have to get something in exchange for you to do it. And that's when it becomes a weapon against you. Because now, you're going to have kids who, if I ain't getting paid, I'm not cleaning. And then you're going to have the other ones who like, damn, what the fuck I got to clean for? My mama clean everything. My daddy clean everything. I just play. You see? You see? So it's not just you. Everything I'm saying ain't just for me. It's for the babies coming after and the babies after that. And the babies after that. Not the cyborgs that's coming about from ChatGPT. Not the data centers that's going to be, I ain't going to say going to, because I really got faith in my people that just as quick as they can get put up, they can get taken down. And I'm going to leave it at that. The data centers coming in the people community, murking up the water. And not only murking up the water, but taking the clean water and using it for the consciousness that is inside of that water. Fueling the whole cyborg thing. Fueling what we seen in iRobot. Fueling what we seen on, what was it, Hancock? Was it Hancock? Might not have been Hancock. I don't know. But the reason I brought up Hancock was because, again, Y2K was not just about, oh, the computers finna fry and the world finna end, it's the battle of Armageddon, all that. No. No! Y2K marked the initiative, the world initiative, the one world initiative to be able to say, oh, y'all, we can't, this how it's gonna go. Listen, mark my words. Oh, y'all, we can't be fighting race and race no more. Oh my gosh, we can't be fighting man and woman no more. We got bigger problems. We gotta fight the robots. Even though, mind you, they put the robots there. So they want you, your ignorant tail, who don't know no better, to go out there and fight something that was created to help them. Where did we see that before? You see why I say it's important for you to know what already happened? Where did we see that before? What I just talked about with how the original creation, the Neanderthal Europeans, the many different extraterrestrials that came about, the many different or humanoids or animals mixed with humans, they came about, and once they broke out of their rope, aka Europe, Europa, Eurasia, and started colonizing or spreading like a parasite to the rest of the world, that same exact story and how they, start harming the humans or the original people of the land, what many people call black people, but to be black is to be void of something, and to be white is to have it. So really, by them calling themselves white people, you're doing yourself a disservice, and you're giving them the very same thing that they want. When white in reality is a mindset, black is a mindset. It is an energy. You can't use phenotype all the time, because as I told y'all the other day, there's beings out here that have advanced technology that can create meat suits. The same thing. Again, the same thing we see, I kid you not, with the cyborgs, the AI, and the technology, and the robots. Is literally that. It's right there. It's right there. It's right there. They have them same capabilities to be able to put a brain inside of a body. Think of Frankenstein. Frankenstein didn't have no soul. He didn't have no spirit. But he had a fucking brain. Thank you, David. Let me see what you said, twin. Hold on. Now the book. That's what David just asked me for the Q&A. Like I said, pay Q&A right here if y'all got a question. David just asked me, when am I coming out with a book? It's already in the works. This is a manifestation. This is not just an iPad. This is a manifestation. Alright? Remember that. For everybody that's here right now, remember that. When you see it, remember it. Remember that. Alright? It's coming soon. Real soon, boo. If you want, you can always follow my YouTube. I'm putting a lot more long form content over there that's going to correlate to this book. And then you can also check out my Neo's Guide to the Basics playlist on TikTok. That's a little hint about some of the things that's going to be in the book. I'm not here to charge nobody no course, ebook, teaching, all that stuff like that. Granted, I know that I should be compensated for the work that I'm doing, but I also know that that could come in many forms. I don't have to just charge people money for that. A lot of times I don't even like to use money because of its involvement with the U.S. corporation. when you really start separating yourself from that, you will start, finding ways to trade with people, barter with people. I love a good trade, child. You said you want me to cook you dinner and you gonna wash my car? I'm missing on the pot. Chef Curry with the pot. What? Chef Curry with the pot. What? Hey, my toilet leaking. You said you finna come fit my toilet in exchange for a pack of herbs? Oh, shit. Hold on. All right, y'all. Come on. I need y'all to help me get this herbal blend together. When you start putting that legal tender and stuff, that's how people get messed up. But I digress. Once I get all them technicalities together, it'll be there. Until then, we gonna vibe with the live. The live is the just vibe to it. Just vibe. But yeah, back to that money, because for some reason that keeps being put on my spirit to talk about today. The paper dollar, man, they used to tell you, oh, money don't grow on trees. Because I remember hearing that a lot growing up, because I had a very fruitful mindset. Money don't grow on trees, but it does, because money is made of paper. But not just any paper. Paper made from cotton. Paper made from cotton. Paper made from cotton. Money made from cotton. Cotton being what they told you your people was slaves over. Cotton being what they told your people they was slaves over. Cotton being what they told your people they was slaves over. Nigga, so is you the slave for the cotton or the slave for the money? You the slave for the cotton or the slave for the money? You the slave for the cotton or the slave for the money? Because in reality, they both the same thing. They both the same thing. They both the same thing. You think this happening? Wait, you think this in a game? They both the same thing. Yeah. Anyway, they're both the same thing. So when they tell you your ancestors slaved for the cotton, they got beat over the back, they backsides for the cotton. Don't you see the same thing happening with your mama and your daddy, or happening with you in a 9-to-5 corporation? Like I said, the very same 9-to-5 corporation Henry Ford designed the 9-to-5 corporation. Henry Ford was a part of the 13 family that came over here to create their own businesses over here because they couldn't do the shit in Europe no more because they were scamming and scheming. They became indentured servants. So they had to be slaves. So they had to give you something to enslave you. But wait, they couldn't give you something to enslave you. You have to use something that you already got to enslave them. What did we already have? The fucking cotton. You see, like, and then I'll run you one further. You look at a dollar bill, you can see the two sigils on the back. The two sigils representing who is benefiting off of that dollar. The nigga on the front of the dollar, the wigger on the front of the dollar, is the ancestor that's being venerated for that dollar. But yet, you get told not to venerate yours. You want to know why they don't want you to venerate your ancestors? You want to know why they don't want you talking to your ancestors? Because 9 times out of 10, when you start hearing them, and hearing their screams, and hearing their frustrations, and hearing the fact that they were lied to, it wake up something inside of you that can't soul is being taken up out of you. Because that food that Big Mama cooked way back when still flowing inside of your blood. And you probably asking me how. How? The food my 3-time big granny cooked. How is that flowing through me? It's flowing through me because I'm not only connected to myself and the blood that's inside of me, but I'm connected to this and the blood that flows through this. You know what they call chlorophyll. Plant blood. So now with that being said, if plants have chlorophyll, that's their blood, and you got... That go back to that conversation about you being an electromagnetic being and creating your own energy. You create your own energy, so when they give you things like the fucking processed food, and it lowers you down, everything that you expended when you paid for it, when you went to that chop shop, when you went and you got the fast food meal and you gave them the money, you gave them the cotton, you gave them your ancestors' resources that they created, and I'm using cotton as a big example. You gave them the resources that your ancestors created, and your ancestors shared the crops that they had. They ended up sharing the planting stations that they had before they got overthrown. All of that worked with this. And it worked with you. And you are a reflection of like, I know it's like, I can say that all day long, and there's still gonna be people that's like, wait, I ain't no damn leaf. Nigga, yes you is. I don't care what you gonna say. You a leaf. You a leaf, you a tree, you a bird, you a bee, you a fly, you a gnat, you everything. And everything is you. But again, you don't realize that it can be used against you. You thinking you outside of being a tree or being a leaf, when in actuality you are the tree. You are the leaf. I just explained how this little leaf right here is a mirror of you. Tiki, 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 tiki. Our hair. Yes, boo. Perfect representation. I don't know who you is and what you doing. You little fly. Don't know what's right. Hold on, it was something that I was about to bring up. The hair. 9 ether. 9 representing the womb. When they say you have 9 ether hair, if you look at, well, I ain't gonna remember that, boy. If you look at hair, it coils. You know what else coils? The spiral. Your DNA or DEA. Everything is made up of spirals. It's called, you know, the label that they gave it is the Fibonacci sequence, named after Fibonacci. Speaking of, I just got something in my gut. Yeah, I know that right. I know that's right. I'm finna say it. The afro, yep, just like a tree. Go look at pictures of an afro, go look at pictures of a tree. That's why they don't want black Americans to have their afros, and you know, they trying to push for us to do everything, every other black style but an afro. That's why in the 70s, again, the ending of that 200-year period, the ending of the 400-year illusion, that's why our elders and our ancestors rock their afros. Loud and proud. Loud and proud. As a reflection and a point to make that I look like what I am. As above, so below, as within, so without. But yeah, that just made me smile. Think about our afros. Think about how they look so good. They all black on. I love it. With black berets and stuff. I love it. That right there, like, that just hurts my feelings, because like when I used to do my research, especially on thank you, David, your diet, vegan or alkaline. Hold on. Did that one time, somebody thought it was funny. I'm a vegan. I eat what's best for me, and that involves whole foods. That does not involve any products coming from animals, such as dairy, meat, eggs, cheese, things like that. I do have like honey and stuff because, you know, it's just a preference. Like I said, I don't restrict myself, but at the same time, I eat what's best for me. If I notice something is causing a nasty imbalance where, like I just talked about, I'm losing more than I'm gaining, or what a lot of common folk like to say, the itis. If I get the itis from something, I'm not gonna have that a lot, because that took more from me to be able to use than I gained. So if you find yourself getting the itis, you find yourself getting sleepy after you eat and stuff like that, and you just want to crash, Yeah, we gotta have rest and digest, but not to the point that you gotta completely shut down. You do that at nighttime when your body is regenerating, or what we call sleeping. So I hope that answers your question. Whole Foods. I try to play with myself, and make it a little game where I use as least ingredients as possible, and I also use things that have as least ingredients as possible. If I pick something up and it has a essay on the back for the ingredients, I'm putting that down, unless I literally can read through it and see everything and there's not no added preservatives and all that other stuff. Yeah, I try to go and I try to use whole things. If y'all are really interested in that content, that is more so for my, I don't even like to call it a business, because like I said, I don't like that whole energy with the corporations and the business and stuff like that. I more so call it my contributions to the collective. It's over there on Neo Naturals. It's the page in my bio. It's also the website in my bio. I do provide herbs for people. I will be soon, like the book that my friend just asked about, I will be soon providing dang, my nose itching. I mean, I know something. Anyway, providing herbal consultations so we can get some herb blends going, because I know a lot of people are selling pre-made herbs, and I started out doing that too. However, now I am branching out more into herbal consultations and nutritional coaching. So what the fuck did I just say? What does all them big words mean? Basically, I'm about to tell you, you gonna come to me and you gonna be like, Neo, oh girl, what's up? Hey, how you doing? They tell me that I got high blood pressure, so I need to fix that. Alright, boo, how you wanna fix that? Man, see, listen, man, I do eat a lot of meat, I do drink, I do this, and I want to get better. All I'm going to tell you is, I'm going to work with you on what you already doing. So let's just say you eat meat, and you want to reduce your blood pressure. We're going to try to get you away from meats that rise your blood pressure. What happens when your blood pressure rises? When do you notice your blood pressure starting to rise? When do you notice, like I said, you get the itis? When do you notice things like that? We working with what you already got, and we going from there, because a lot of these things are a result of your body trying to talk to you, but you're not listening because you want to just shut it up, or you want to get rid of the pain, which means you're taking painkillers to kill off the signals sending from your brain. But it's not helping your body, it's getting rid of the signals sent to your brain. So what my mission is not only to give you the herbs, because I'm seeing, like I said, with Aquarius and with the astrological things that we talked about in the beginning of the live, with all of that energy right now, Pluto in Aquarius, Saturn in retrograde, I think in Aquarius, the sun is in Leo, the moon, we're about to have a full moon going into Aquarius. Looking at local astrology, looking at, some generational things like the Saturn retrograde that's going to be taking place over the next couple of months. Looking at things like that, we can work with that. We can work with what the moon got going on. We got to work with the sun, because all of these play a role in us. So you can help, if you know your astrology, we can look at your astrological chart. We can look at your natal chart, and we can say, okay, you having an issue with your stomach or with your gut, we need to check and see what you got going on with Virgo, boo. Your feet been hurting. We need to look at Pisces. You been having knee pains, your hips and your joints messed up. It's some imbalances. We need to check that Libra Capricorn energy out. That goes into health or wellness. It's not separate. You can use astrology and numerology to help you heal your body. Again, everything is one. So my goal is, when I start doing these consultations, I'm not coming in here to tell you what to do. You gonna tell me what we need to do for you. Because that's what it is to coach somebody. That's what it is to help somebody. I'm not here to tell you nothing. Like I said, I'm seeing an increase with a lot of people promoting the herbs and promoting stuff. And that's good. We do need to get away from the pharmaceuticals. But what I don't like is when people try to use herbs or use healing food and medicine like that as a one-size-fits-all painkiller, like the medicines, like the D-rugs, because those are not medicines. Those are pharmaceutical D-rugs, isolated components of the very same herbs that they don't want you to use. So why would you do the same thing? Like I said, that's that white supremacy mindset. You don't gotta be white or phenotypically white to execute that mindset. Why would you take herbs and do the same thing to herbs? What they did with the D-rugs, with the medicine? You don't do that. No, we work with the herbs because the herbs work with us. We work with the spiritual energies of the herbs because the spiritual energies of the herbs work with us. And vice versa. You're going to get your herbs. You're going to change your diet. Because again, the herbs is assisting. That's preventative health. They don't push preventative health. They push treatments, cures. That's why you can't walk around saying, I can cure something, I can treat it. They try to sue you when you do stuff like that. Like they took Dr. Sebi to court. They try to sue you for all that. Anyway, you can't claim to be no doctor. You can't claim to be you give medicine, You can't do none of that. Because that falls under the systems and the premises and the legality or the legalese of their corporation. You don't get trapped in that. What you pay attention to is, again, how you can use these herbs and how you can use holistic nutrition, which is something that a lot of people may not recognize is an option. Yeah, we have regular nutrition, the My Plate that they tell you in the U.S., your fruits, your veggies, your milk at 10 o'clock in the morning with the fucking breakfast pizza. Child, anyway. You got them systems over there, you got that nutrition over there, but you also have the nutritional status that works for you, and that's custom, that's tailor-made. That ain't one size fits all. I am a testimony. I will be the first one to tell you, I tried. I grew up in a family that was very medically focused, so me being holistic is actually going against the grain a lot. I tried to go to the doctors. I tried to allow them to work with me and help me, because that's all a physician is. A physician or a doctor is somebody that is supposed to be practicing with you in accordance and working with your body. I tried to do that. And you want to know where that ended me up at? That ended me up still having to figure this shit out for myself, because everything that they were practicing on me was not working. And I wasn't healing. I was just suppressing. And now we see people with autoimmune diseases and we think it's a disease, it's a parasite or something attacking you. No, that's your body fighting against you, fighting against it. An autoimmune disease is your body fighting itself. When in reality, that's what they tell you. When in reality, it is your body trying to create symbiosis or trying to create a balance where there has been an imbalance for a severe period of time. It's critical. So you wondering why you got these autoimmune diseases. You wondering why you having these flare-ups. And it's because you're not taking care of yourself. Not just physically, spiritually. Because a lot of those develop as spiritual diseases manifesting into the physical. So with that point of view, which has been getting taken out of our medical system, taken out of our pharmaceuticals, taken out of our medicines, and replaced with drugs and treatments, when we get back to preventative, when we get back to working with our natural rhythms, I ain't gonna say get back to, but the more that we start to integrate our natural rhythms, the more that we start to integrate the medicines and the herbs and the energies around us, physically, mentally, and spiritually, because this is not just physical. Like, I can tell you all day long, eat this food, drink this herb, but mentally, if you're not reprogramming your body to say, I can heal myself, I can heal myself, I can heal myself, I can heal myself, and you're not establishing that in your subconscious and your conscious, it's not gonna work. Then you're gonna think, oh, these herbs don't work, eating plant-based don't work, because it's a placebo effect. What that means is you didn't trick your brain to be able to do what it is that you need to do. Sometimes you gotta be delusional. Y'all be wanting to be delusional about them niggas and be delusional about this, that, and the third, and be delusional that celebrity that you like it on Instagram is gonna DM you. You want to be delusional about that, but you don't want to be delusional when it comes to your body being able to heal itself. You don't want to be delusional to know that the things that you're doing today is gonna determine your wellness for tomorrow. Nah, you want to be delusional about some dick. You want to be delusional about some dick. But you don't want to be delusional about the fact that you can heal yourself. You don't want to be delusional about the fact that you quite literally create your reality. You create whatever, that's what manifesting is. You don't want to be delusional about that. No. You want to be delusional that the celebrity that you've been sending happy birthday in their DMs for the past 6 years is going to finally DM you back and say, thank you. Can we just be delusional about preventing things? Can we be delusional about the fact that you go into the chop shop to get cow puss? I ain't even gonna say, let me be quiet. You go into the chop shop to get cow puss and mystery meat, and you can be delusional and tell yourself, ooh, this good. This good. Because the taste buds in your mouth and your tongue is sending chemical signals to your brain, and your brain is sending that to your body and saying, oh my gosh, this shit tastes so good in my mouth, it's going to taste even better in my stomach. But by the time it get to your stomach ba-doompa-doompa-doompa all around the corner and toot and beep, because you done ate that stuff that did not agree with your stomach simply because it tasted good to your tongue. Same thing spiritually. You thinking this nigga good for you. You thinking this nigga is gonna be the nigga for you. That is the man of your dreams, baby. You thinking that's him. And meanwhile, you can't figure out why you constantly getting fibroid cysts, why you having painful menstrual cycles, why you having pH imbalances and stuff like that. Bitch, your body trying to tell you, leave him alone. Stop being delusional about that. We could be delusional about that. We could be delusional and say, oh, I'm finna scam this nigga for $50,000 and get the money. Be delusional in real life and think that you done got the money. You can be delusional and do that. But you can't be, and mind you can be delusional and do that and then end up getting caught up because what you put out ain't what you got back. But you can't be delusional enough to say, I don't even need that money to govern me because I get what I want without the money. If I wanted a smoothie, and I always use that reference, if I wanted a smoothie, I don't have to go get the money to get the smoothie and then have the smoothie. No, I just get the smoothie. Fuck the money. Be delusional like that. Be delusional and say, man, what do I need entertainment for? Everything that I'm doing is creative. Everything that I'm doing is expressing myself. Everything that I'm doing is allowing my mind to be free. That's entertainment enough. Nah, you want to be delusional and fucking be in the metaverse all damn day. On GTA 6 all damn day. I say all of that to say, I'm done talking junk. I say all of that to say, we got to do better about our ability to recognize patterns, not just in history, but in our story and in the story of our future babies. We have to do better when it comes to strengthening our minds. Right now, y'all, like I said, as of year 2000 AD, according to the Gregorian calendar, the warfare of physical and mental is done. You fighting against flesh and you not fighting against flesh and blood. You not fighting against nobody's mind right now. You fighting against your mind, and you fighting against the spiritual things that's going on in the spiritual realm. All this physical stuff is a manifestation of that. So, with that being said, moving forward, guys, we have to be strong in our mind. The mental diseases and disorders and the tisms and isms and schisms, all of that is a scheme set up by Tide to trick you out your spot. They have been saying for the past 50 years there are going to be a lot of increases in mental health disorders, mental health diseases, because your mental health is very crucial, very important right now. I have been in an area with one of the largest mental asylums. I have dealt with mentally challenged and drug users, whatever you want to call these people that exist in our community that need rehabilitation. Existing around them people showed me that can happen to anybody. Do not sit here and think you bigger and better than the program, because just because you not crashing out and you may not have a tinfoil hat on like them, and you may not be walking around here not talking non-verbal, or you may not be bouncing off the walls like them, that does not mean that they are less than you. In actuality, it really means that the chemical signals and stuff like that that's being processed in their brain obviously works at a different rate. Why? That is due to the many different melting pots. That's due to the many different systems that are put there to confuse you. That's due to the many different poisons that are being infiltrated and put into your systems, like the things being sprayed in the sky, like the food that you eat, like the drugs and alcohol and all that stuff like that we consume in. It's put there to aggravate that. Why does it aggravate that? Because that was put there as a way for you to be able to survive. Think of it as a portion of evolution. The reason that they're saying it's a mental health disorder is because they cannot control it. Why can't they control it? Because it's in the mind. You operate your mind, nobody else. So the things being put to confuse you, like I said, the spirit of confusion goes against your being. Anything that confuses you goes against your being. So the reason, like I said, all these rise in mental health disorders and stuff like that is because of the evolution of the beings, especially the kids. You mean to tell me for 3 generations, looking on back from, I would even estimate, I'll just say 50, matter of fact, I'm going to say 76 to 26, exactly 50 years. You look at the epigenetic history during that time, of course the babies is acting the way that they acting. Y'all, come on. The 3-letter agencies, the many different epidemics, like I said, with the push of the food and the drugs, with the push of the redlining, with the push of the propaganda, with the push of the entertainment, with the push of the harm, the relabeling, renaming, and reclassification, the push of all that, and you mean to tell me you don't think all that confusion is going to cause some disorder? Is it disorder because you can't control it? Because you can't control the order of how it's going? That's why it's disorder? Or is it actually the superpower that I said as of 76 and especially after 2000's increase? You know, the ones that everybody was scared of in Y2K. They didn't know if your ass was going to turn into Superman or the Hulk or not, because your superpowers increased. So now they're going to label it mental health. They're going to make you think something wrong with you because you can hyper actively do multiple things at one time. And instead of giving you the tools to be able to communicate telepathically, which a lot of the babies are being born now able to do, they don't have to use broken ass English language. That's a curse and they don't have to do that. And 9 times out of 10, majority of them know this. Why? Because like I said, they are the ones from 250 years ago that want they motherfucking get back. What do they have to talk about? What do the babies that are being born out have to talk about? Nothing. They don't have anything to talk about because they are ready to get active. That's why they're not talking to y'all. They don't want to tell y'all the secret. They don't want to tell y'all the things that they were sitting here with. Think about the silent generation that was prevalent, I think around 1930s. Some of our great-grandparents. Why were they silent? They were silent because they were the ones that were entrusted with the secrets. And a lot of them, instead of telling their kids in hopes that it would help them, a lot of them chose to be silent to protect them. That was approximately 3 generations ago. The epigenetic, the grandmama is the baby. Yeah, that. That's how that affects that. That's how we get that right now. That's why we see the babies acting the way that they do. Instead of you giving them the tools to be able to be multifaceted and know that it's okay to have 10 fucking hobbies, and if you want to do all 10 hobbies in one day, that's fine. Because 9 times out of 10, it would take you a lot more time to get all 10 done. But guess what? You're getting 10 things done at one time. Beings who don't even want you to do one thing at one time is not going to want you to do multiple at one time. So they're going to tell you you have ADHD. They're going to tell you need to sit your ass down in one space in one place from 8 to fucking 4 o'clock and listen at what the teacher say, and don't do nothing else but that. Listen at the curriculum, don't do nothing else but that. Go work your 9 to 5, don't do nothing else but that. Somebody said it's like she got an iPhone 40 in her head. She AI level. Nigga, AI learned from me. AI learned from me. The ancient intelligence that runs through me, AI stole that shit from me. AI mimics me. Them computers mimic me. I don't mimic them. They mimic me. This phone, this communication, that mimics me. Me, this being right here is sitting here connected with you, not this damn phone. This phone is a medium to do that. AI does not give y'all the information. AI spits out, ChatGPT spits out a code based on what the fuck you input it into it. So let AI, ChatGPT, get you messed up when it comes to using your critical thinking and pattern recognition. Because you putting in, how do I wash clothes? The same way you wash your ass. What, like, I don't. The same thing, the same correlation between ChatGPT and transhumanism is the same correlation between the humanoids and the humans. The beings who do not possess a soul, possess the etheric energy, possess the ability to be electromagnetic, and the beings who are simply just electric, or who simply just have the vessel. Willing, waiting, and open. Basically an NPC. So you gonna be the NPC with your head wide open, ready for them to just pull in whatever? Or are you gonna actually take the steps that it needs to do to shape and shift yourself so you can save AI when it's all said and done? Because again, AI mirror you. If you ever watched, I'm gonna leave off on this little movie that I watched, and I told y'all about it not too long ago. This movie, Idiocracy. Idiocracy is the name of the movie that I'm about to talk about. Idiocracy. If I'm not, I have a fucking recording. If I go back and pick it up, I have a recording. When I was sitting down watching that movie, I seen 2022 in the corner of one of them billboards on that movie. And since 2022, if you ever watch Idiocracy, you know what I'm talking about. Since 2022, and they've been releasing ChatGPT and all these different AI systems. Idiocracy, the point of the movie was to show that the evolution of humans, or the evolution of human beings, or beings that exist on this plane, got so bad. They literally sat in a chair all day. The toilet was connected to the chair. They didn't have no wallet, no money, because they didn't know how to fucking count. They pushed buttons and got what they wanted. It's the same thing. Same thing with emojis. You got people that don't know how to use an emotional intelligence, but can send whatever perfect emoji they want to send for the response. Send the stickers and put the stickers in the comments of the TikTok video. But if you go to them and try to have a conversation with them, crickets. I try to talk to people now, and people be dead ass that fluoride stare. When they was first saying that, I was like, okay, I know what y'all talking about, but I ain't gonna play into it. I dead for real. The further and further I got, I was like, it takes me off so bad, because it's like, bro, I'm talking to you. Do you hear me? But then I'm like, they can't hear you. They can't hear you because their eyes are not open to be able to hear, and their ears are not open to be able to hear you, and their eyes are not open to be able to see you. So it's like, you just gotta know. You gotta know when you preach the brick wall. It's all right. But yeah. Some people, I'll be like, God damn, boy, you just black eyes and you just standing there. Yeah, get your demon tail out my face. But yeah. And you just standing there. Yeah, get your demon tail out my face. But yeah. I have one soon. Once I get settled. Your girl has been through a lot in the past 2 years since I started this little TikTok stuff. This has taken me on a roller coaster like none other. But once your girl gets settled, we'll get to that. But for right now, I source my herbs from Mountain Rose Herbs, Star West Botanicals, and then I have some other smaller not companies, smaller people that I deal with. But when it comes to my herbal shop, if you go check out my website, I'll tell you all of my sources right there. If not, I always suggest, before going to any big corporation, going to Amazon or anything like that, go to your local community, find you a botanica, find you an apothecary, find you a naturopathic store, find you a holistic shop, find you whatever along them lines, and see if you can find some organic sources around you, like we do with the farmers and the local produce and stuff like that. When you go to your farmer's market or when you go to a farm near you, do the same thing with your herbs as much as you can. If I were you, if you got like dandelion growing around you, go collect it before they come cut the grass. Start using them. Start using things that you can get an abundance of. If you can't get no access to herbs, you don't got no shop near you, one of the easiest things for you to do, and you can't say you don't have it, go take your behind to any seasoning section and get what you need. You try to get organic, you can't get organic, that's fine. Get what you need. Take the gems, leave the dirt. One thing my ancestors started emphasizing to me more so recently, but especially when I started my spiritual journey, is you have to know how to take nothing and make something out of it. That's one thing that my people always did. Like, we took the scraps and we made beautiful, beautiful, beautiful pieces out of it. So I'm not gonna be the one to tell you go spend it's expensive to eat healthy. I don't like that stereotype. You could do a lot with beans, rice, onions, bell peppers, and garlic. You could do a lot with that. You start adding in little extra ingredients here and there, that gets you really far. You don't want to use rice, you can use quinoa. Quinoa has all non-essential amino acids. Amino acids are the building blocks that give what you look for, which is protein. We don't want to necessarily look for protein. Protein is what our body makes after you get the amino acids. You want to look for the amino acids and things that contain those amino acids. My little goat girl, thank you, boo. Yes, like lentils, beans, dried beans. You soak them for 24 hours. $1 a bag, if that. $1 for a pound. If you get Wick, Snap, or you a college student, anything like that, I'm now getting, like I said, it's taking some time, but I've been making some YouTube tutorials to be able to help you not only budget, create a grocery, get the ingredients that you need to get, but to also prepare the meal. If you want the page that I recommended to you, Neo Naturals, which is my contribution to the collective, not a business, not a corporation, none of that. It's just my contribution to the collective, where I share all my contributions. You can go, you can watch some of my cooking videos. I have a playlist on here called Plant-Based Soul Food. Before I start moving everything over there, where I would go and I would show you. I made spaghetti squash. I did a plant-based. Y'all know y'all want them seafood balls. It's summertime. Everybody want a seafood ball. You can make you a seafood ball. Plant-based. No seafood. No sea crab. No sea roaches. No none of that. And it still tastes good. Again, you don't have to spend a lot of money. You can know what, but it's certain foods that you can buy organic and certain foods that you really don't, it don't matter if you do or not. The clean 14, the dirty dozen, those are nutritional standards that, you know, has been implemented as a guideline to help people understand, like berries and things like that. You probably want to buy them organic because they're like, you're literally eating it. But anything with a skin or a peel, it's, you know, it's kind of a little fluctuation right there, because you could peel the skin off, you could peel the apples, you could peel the bananas, things like that. Okay? You don't have to spend a lot of money. That's why I said I target my target audience is people who get SNAP benefits, WIC, low income, college students, young people who want to know how to cook. When it comes to my nutrition, my herbal stuff, like, that's where I direct my energy, because I want people to understand, especially people who grew up like me and grew up in scenarios where you may have had to drive 2 hours just to get to the nearest fucking city. So when you get what you get, with whatever you can get, make the best of it. That's what Big Mama was doing in the kitchen, like I told y'all earlier. She wasn't in there just throwing shit together like they do at the fast food, warming shit up in the microwave and putting it in a pack. No, Big Mama was taking nothing and turning it into something. Big Mama was taking them ingredients that she got from her planting stations that they turned into plantation, and through the crops that she shared with the people around her. You see how, yeah, you see how that, them words right there, you shift them and shape and turn them and shift them, and you can actually see the fucking picture for what it is. Big Mama took all that and she created some food that was so soulful, that mirrored the sun, mirrored the divine electromagnetic energy that raised up inside of her when she was cooking, and gave you a meal that was so motherfucking good and regenerated your body so motherfucking right. We was living above 100 to 200 and plus years. So you got darn right. I'm gonna be the first one to tell you, before I went plant-based, and this is why I gotta get on live more, because I can show y'all more of my personality without it being like a 5-minute fucking video. You can't learn a lot from 5 minutes, baby, because like I tell y'all, this social media is a matrix within itself. It's a metaverse within itself. I can get on here and I can post something and be in a whole nother country in 2 hours. What was I saying? You take them foods and you make it into something. I will be the first one to tell you, I have had times where I had to take $5 and use that to eat for sometimes maybe a day or a couple days. There's been times that I quite literally I was not able to get fast food for a while. When I was eating it, I couldn't get it because I had no choice but to get groceries. And that is when I actually learned how to fucking cook. When I couldn't go get them pizza rolls and oodles and noodles no more. When I couldn't eat Hot Pockets and breakfast sandwiches all day because I'm on the go and I don't got time to sit down and cook, and I don't got time to take care of myself and heal myself the way that I'm supposed to because I'm too busy trying to play and run a rat race that I'll never see the end of. That's when I learned how to, like my twin said, get it out the mud. When I learned, baby, get you $5. You can get a bag of rice, a bag of beans, and you can get the vegetables and the aromatics that you need to make that a meal. That's what Big Mama was doing. That's what I'm gonna do, and that's what my motherfucking kids and grandkids gonna do too, with whatever they get. I don't care if it's the cotton dollar that they ancestors' blood is spilt on. I don't care if it's the herbs that come out of their mama garden. I don't care if it's the house that they daddy built. I don't care about any of it. They gonna know how to use it all. And I ain't just talking about the ones that's coming out of my womb, physically or metaphysically. I'm talking about any and everything that comes from me. Any creation, any book, any collection, any film, any video, anything that got my essence, my stamp on it. Yeah! You see that? You see the little gift? That's exactly what I'm gonna do with it. I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna make something new, nigga. And I'm gonna flip it and I'm gonna shape it and I'm gonna shift it and I'm gonna transfer it, and it's gonna keep going on and on and on, because my energy, my essence ain't never gonna die. And just like my people and just like roaches, we don't die, we multiply, and we keep fucking going. And on that note, I'm gonna get ready to end this live because we done been on here upwards about 4 hours. It's been real, it's been nice, I've been enjoying it, I've been chilling, and I've been kicking it with y'all. I love y'all so much. The energy of today was so beautiful. We talked about a lot. This will definitely be on my YouTube, so if you just not getting in or if you missed the first half, you make sure you go and you check that out. I appreciate you. I love you. As you get ready to step into your week, don't be in a daze, and don't be weak. W-A-W-E-A-K. But be strong. Know who you are. Use your energy properly. As we go into this full moon on Wednesday, don't get caught up giving away all your energy and your essence when it comes to how you want to impact the collective. Don't burn yourself out. And don't overextend yourself. Commit to your boundaries. Respect yourself. Value yourself. Love yourself. Play with yourself. Embody yourself. You talk to the inner child. You talk to the teenager. You talk to the young adult. You talk to the middle age. You talk to the elder. And you talk to the ancestral version of yourself. Because they all existing right now. And you figure out where you need to go from there. I can't tell you that. That system that's put there to govern your mind can't tell you that. The systems put there to enter your mind or entertain your mind can't tell you that. Them celebrities that you celebrating and praising can't tell you that. You gotta tell you that. What a Sunday dinner. Finna get ready to be posted on YouTube. So make sure you take a bite when it's done. All right. Period. I love y'all.